Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. Bob and I were having a fun conversation in the green room before we got things started today. But it's nice to see so many of you hanging out and ready to hear another calf update, our 247th, just three away from 250. Yeah, always fun to hit nice numbers like that. But for those of you that were at Heroes last weekend, I hope that your hangovers and your not only from the drinking, but from all of that artwork that we had to imbibe over the last, that whole weekend. It was like 3 days solid of nonstop art conversations, hanging out with artists. There, I don't even want to know how far the art happenings went. Did Sidar find a backdoor into the app? Not yet, Marcus. But what happened on Saturday? Oh, that. Well, we can talk about that. I actually forgot to make a note of that. We'll talk about that. That was not Sidar. That was Maureen, who made an error of sorts. But anyways, yeah. So this weekend, was so fun, and it's a once a year thing. That's probably a good thing. We've got a video clip in a little bit that will show you that it kind of encompasses the entire weekend, and it is nothing but fun stuff. But before we get started with that, Bob Layton is in the green room. We've not had him on the show in 5 or 6 weeks. He's finally out of Facebook purgatory, and he's been having a really fun time in Seoul, and he's got some stuff in the works that we're going to be able to talk about. But before we do that, we got to play the where in the world is Bob Layton. Of course, we know where he is, but now we get to see what he's been doing for the last 30 days or so. Not a lot of, we only get one drink and draw. I don't know how many he's participated in, but that's one of the questions I'll have for him when we bring him back on. So here we go.
But that showed me the power as a learning tool, me. And I just wanted to be a storyteller. I wanted to tell stories. And like I said in the video, one of my big frustrations was, I'm actually more like this. One of my big frustrations was that the comic that I loved, or I wanted to love, was Iron Man, and it was done so horribly. Sometimes hating something is a good thing, because I didn't know that fate would conspire for me to actually wind up with a book and an opportunity to make it my own. Hey, welcome to another episode of Drink and Draw. I'm here with my protege and artificial daughter, Simone.
Hi.
She's sober tonight.
Yeah.
But tonight our theme is cats. Characters associated with cats or with cat powers and things. The only thing we're not doing is what?
The movie Cats.
Or the musical. Yeah, that's been banned. Anyway, more footage later. So, Bill, I wanted to show you tonight's drink and draw. We have a full house. It is also Alicia's birthday. Number one person here in our little Italian girl is having her birthday today. So, well then, I'm not sure what that means, but okay. Anyway, so I'm going to take a little more video when we have a cake. But our theme tonight is what? Kitty cats, right? We're doing cats. All right, so we'll see more of this later, all right? All right, so it is Alicia's birthday, so they're getting ready here with the cake. We got a couple of cakes. She insisted on chocolate. So everybody's still doing their right mailing. There you go. All right. All right. Make a wish.
Well, you're having too much fun over there in Seoul. How you doing,
my
Bob?
God. No, Drink and Draw has blown up in the last month or two where you saw it. We have like capacity. We've filled, I mean, that's 2,000 square feet. We filled it with people every week now. It's crazy, and as you know, we have a couple of ringers that I've been working with there, a couple of new ones coming up. So, it's like it's become a nice sort of place to sit and teach those people. I show up early now so I can kind of hold a class before we actually get doing the drink and draw. I didn't send you the flip of all the drawings at the end. I should have done that because some of them were really great. Some were hilarious, but we do a theme every week, right?
Right. So, oh, yeah.
So
did anybody do like a Tom and Jerry bit at all for that? Or
well, yeah, someone did a Tom and Jerry, of course. But I did Tigra because, actually 36 years ago this month, I did an Iron Man that came out with Tigra as a guest star. So, it's Joey and Cleo's wedding anniversary. So they're gone. They're in an island off of Thailand. I actually sent them there. That was my present. But when they were gone the first time, they went away last month, we did mice. Because, when the cat's away, the mice will play. So this time when they were gone, we did cats, right? So it was a theme. Whenever they leave, we just do a theme based on that cliche. So, I did Tigra. But there were some really, really good ones. And I should have sent you the flip because I do a video flip. But, hey, I take up too much time on the show every time I'm on it.
You haven't been on for a while, so that's why I reached out to you.
This is it. But Drink and Draw has kept me really busy because, and we have there's another project I'm working on that's keeping me real busy too that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But it's really become a place for me to incubate talent, right? And I got on top of OG and Juyun Kim, got a couple of other ones that are starting to come along now too. That I'm gonna, because I've kind of taught them everything, all the basics. I can teach them about Western style drawing,
right?
So, it's and they're going to get their tryouts apparently. So it's like I'm move on, but it's it's become very satisfying, for me to do that, And as you know, all the drawings that we do are sold for charity. And when Joey gets back, one of the things he's going to do is he's going to set up a CAF account, all right, a page where people can buy these drinks. He's going to post them, and people can buy these drink and draw drawings, not just from me, but from some of the other like really talented kids that are there.
Perfect. Yeah, we might be able to help you out with that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I figured, I told him it's like we should just have a page where people can buy them if they want to.
Right.
Because some of them are just, brilliant, man. So
what are you doing with all those sketch covers? You had a ton of X-Men in there.
Well, I had a stack of sketch covers and Spencer said, well, why don't you actually draw something on them? So what I did is every day before I started working on Terminator, which we'll talk about, I sat down and did one. So I did a series of Avengers covers. I did 5 Avengers covers, and I did 5 X-Men covers. So those are some of them are already posted on my CF gallery, and they're available. It's like through me or through Spencer. I have most of them are still here. I haven't sent them to him yet, but I'll post the rest of them after we get off here today.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just because I just needed to do something that was kind of fun, because what I've been doing is, although it's great, it's such tedious work, man. I mean, it's like it's crazy. So it's kind of giving myself a break or whatever. But so when Joey gets back, we will set up a whole drink and draw charity account. All the money will go to help local charities here through the community center.
That sounds perfect. Yeah, I'll do all I can to promote it for you.
I appreciate it, man.
So what was in that video clip? What was that first thing? It said you mentioned you were doing some kind of a teaching seminar.
This was really good. Professor Martin, who you saw interviewing me in the video, he's come to Drink and Draw several times, and that city's about 2.5 hours away by bullet train. Okay, so it's away. But KAIST is an engineering and science school. It's a university, a very prestigious one here in Korea. So for me to talk to these engineers, but they also have a class called storytelling, so he wanted me to come and talk to all the kids who are total Marvel freaks, of course, about basic storytelling, and he gave them a project where they had to come and pitch an idea to me for a comic book, right?
Mm-hmm.
A comic movie, and that was so. I sat there, Joey and I sat there, and we judged them. They got up all like they had little teams of 4, and they would come up and they would pitch their project. Some of them were interesting, some of them were a little ridiculous, but I got to play like Hollywood producer, man, and I just tore them a new asshole. I said, this is what's going to happen if you go into a pitch meeting in Hollywood with this. This is exactly the way they're going to act. I'm not going to hold any punches back. It was actually an enormous amount of fun. So
nobody left in tears though, right?
And I got paid for it too, so that was a great thing.
But better. Wasn't a charity setting at all.
I make an appearance here.
Mm-hmm.
I get like points toward my celebrity status, and eventually I can apply for a celebrity visa. So so I don't have to leave every 90 days, right?
That would be good.
Notice how that segues into where I'm going. The next episode of Where in the World of Bob Layton will take place in Singapore on the week of the 14th. I'm taking Simone with me, all right, my protege and artificial daughter, because she hasn't had a vacation in 7 years. She's been teaching school for 7 years without a break. And I said, well, just come with me. It'll be fun. So I will be doing, for Ink Collectibles, I will be appearing there at their gallery on July 18th. I imagine it's going to be the whole day. And, I just set that up. You know me, I set it up so I could write the vacation off on taxes.
Of course.
But they have gone all out. They've made some foil covers, some foil posters and stuff like that, prints and everything that they're going to, I think some are going to be prizes and some they're selling. But it's like they're really just going to town on this. They were so excited to have me come, and I'm excited to go to Singapore. I mean, it's on my bucket list of places to go, and so I'll hopefully have a lot of fun footage for you when I get back.
We're looking forward to that. Yeah. I mean, that's awesome.
They're actually place.
Are you getting paid for this too?
Well, I didn't take a fee, nothing, but it's like they're gonna, I mean, if there's any profits from the stuff, we're gonna split it, I think, or something. Again, most of the stuff I do these days of public appearances, it all goes to charity anyway.
Right.
I don't really need the money that much, so it's like I'm trying to do whatever I can. But here in this particular case, this is just again, part of my 50-year celebration. It's like I'm going to go to one of the most craziest cities in the world there and meet all the fans and all this stuff, and that's the fun of it, because they were asking me if I was going to draw. I said no, because I want to be able to talk to the fans and hang out and go to Little India. Okay, because I miss Indian food, Kasra. I tell you, that's one thing you can't get here in Korea, at least not really good Indian food. So definitely we'll take you up on that. because yeah, Simone and I will have like a whole week of just, and if you guys know her from the videos, you know that she's nothing but trouble. That's what my nickname for her. So I figure I'll probably have to bail her out of jail a couple of times.
Well, you better bring some cash with you.
Yeah, I will. It's better than traveling alone. I just said, come with me. She's like, she really has become like my daughter here. I mean, somebody that I was training, and we do. She comes over and we have Sunday movie nights here. We eat popcorn and watch weird films. I was showing her a lot of science fiction films from the 50s, what I grew up with. Because she's young and she's never seen this stuff. She's kind of amazed. Like at some of this thing, she had no idea. So anyway, yeah, she's gonna go with me, and so it should be a fun time. So we expect a really fun video, and another episode of Where in the World is Bob Layton. Probably the week after that, right?
Right. Well, we got San Diego. I know that. I think that's the week after that. So it'll probably be the week after San Diego.
This stuff is like fine wine; it'll just age perfectly. Don't you worry about that, man.
Well, I can see the TV in the background. So what is the delicacy of choice that they're promoting on Korean television these days? I mean, it was, there's been porkgasms, there's
we talked about granny panties, last time, right?
Yes.
But granny panties is not a delicacy, as you know. Granny panties disappeared strangely. It only ran for a few weeks, and
it was a fad.
Yeah, it was a fad. I think the granny panties was not here to stay, but I got to tell you, I have never laughed so hard in my life than some of the ads on Korean television. I mean, it's crazy. There hasn't been anything particularly right now. They're big into bean paste. They're pushing bean paste all the time.
Is that something you digest or put on your skin for a youthful?
It's you add to soups and things like fermented bean paste.
Okay,
that's the latest one. It's not as funny though. I mean, it's not the same. What my favorite commercial though right now is for No More Pizza. They actually have a chain here called No More Pizza, and if you look at it, you understand why they said that, because it's some of the grossest shit you've ever seen. I mean, it's corn on the cob and shrimp pizza. Okay, one's chicken with honey on it. And I can understand why they chose that name, No More Pizza, because one bite and that's what you'd say.
Here, you can see Kazra spilled the beans. I had Korean food for the first time in Charlotte.
Oh, is that right? How did that work out, Kaz? Did he keep it down?
I think I passed. I think I did all right.
Did you have real kimchi with it?
I did. Well, I don't know. You'd have to ask Kazra if it was real or not. But he and Sardo said it was really good. I ate most of mine. It was kind of spicy.
Well, yeah, that's how it works here. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in Singapore in terms of things I can eat that'll gross you out. Because one of my favorite things is watching you get even paler as I eat strange food from other countries. So
it's one of our favorite things to see when you're on camera. You know that.
I'm going to tell you, it's become one of the highlights of my life, man.
There you go. So Kazra says we kept it simple, and I did fine. There you go.
Oh, well, good.
And I had no problems the next day.
Did you have bulgogi?
All right.
Did you have bulgogi? Because you seem like a beef guy.
I don't even know. Kazra kind of picked it. And Sardo seemed to know what he was doing. I just went along. It was there was like 7 things that you could.
They don't eat just one thing. They believe in gut health, so they usually give you a lot of different things to eat anytime you go to a restaurant. But I mean, I got a huge thing of kimchi right.
I had the pork stomach or whatever. That was a first. It's kind of like bacon, but
they like
innards. Flavor.
They like innards. Strangely enough, I can eat the innards because I can't eat muscle tissue, but internal organs I can eat. So I've tried that. I mean, I had poop shoot. It's like
we know.
Yeah.
Hey, I just noticed, Mark Fong said he was going to be at the July 18th event, but
Mark, okay, great, man. That's wonderful.
The poster doesn't have a time on it. I'm looking at it too. It doesn't.
Well, I think it's going to be all friggin' day, man, for the sound of it. Okay, because they're expecting a huge turnout. According to Alwyn, the guy I was talking to there. So yeah, I expect it's going to be an all-day deal. So
All right. Well, there you
yeah,
go.
I'll be up for it. I'll have 4 days to sit by the pool, man, and relax, okay, and work on my tan. It's because you can't get sun here in Korea. There's just because I live in the city with tall buildings, right? And also they're very modest here, so you can't like lay out with your shirt off and stuff like that because people will get upset.
You will never get your permanent residency within the
Probably
country of
not.
South Korea at that
But
rate.
all that means is a consistent flow of where in the world is Bob Layton shows.
Right. Every 90 days we get
Every 90 days, man. So it's like there you go.
So what have you been doing for Mr. Baruchi?
Well, this has been the big secret project that I haven't been able to talk about for a while. But Nick and Nate Cosby approached me a month or so ago and asked me to. They're doing a new Terminator miniseries called Terminator Metal, and it's a 5-issue series, and they asked me to do the covers for all 5. So, show the black and white first.
All right, let's go over here. There we go.
Because you're missing my big point. Okay, so here's my cover to the first Terminator Metal #1. All right, the first Terminator cover I did showed them putting skin on, and so I decided to do this one, showing them fixing one that's torn up. Right, so yeah, this is my cover for 1. I've done 3 so far that I've finished, but I'm not allowed to show you the other ones yet. Anyway,
so you only got permission to show this one.
Only this one because they're soliciting it this week, I think. So, but I asked Nikki if we could show it on the thing. What happened was, because I wanted to make sure that these covers, I wanted to be happy and make sure that they were done to my satisfaction. So I went and I secured Alex Sinclair to be my colorist on all 5 of these. So Alex is going to be coloring all 5 covers, which I'm incredibly excited about because I love working with Alex, and he's probably the best colorist in the business right now. So now you can show him the color version. So Alex turned in his first colored version of it. Just did a magnificent job.
Now, wasn't Alex at that show that you went to? I can't remember which was that.
Yeah, he was in Osaka with me. Yeah,
That's right.
And he colored some of the posters that I did for the show. But and here's the crazy thing. Alex is Jim Lee's colorist, as you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the cost of having Alex do these is as much as I make actually drawing the covers, and I'm paying him out of my own pocket. So I'm doing the covers for nothing. All right. Basically, but hey, it's worth it. And one of you guys will probably buy this, I imagine, right? So I'll make my money up when I sell the art.
Exactly.
But so give them to me. What is it? Yes, give them to me. He says. Okay, that's funny. I am kind of giving them to everybody else. I'm giving them to Nick because I'm doing them pretty much for free. In order to secure Alex. But look, it's worth it. Look what he does. I mean, he's brilliant.
That turned out great.
You can count the good colorists in this business on the fingers of one hand. So I'm so lucky to have him. It's worth paying the money just to get him to do the thing. And like I said, I'll make up the money in the secondary. The second cover, you're going to love this, is a homage to Iron Man 126. It shows them building 4 panels of them building a Terminator, and then the final shot of the Terminator in that pose, right?
Right.
So I can tell you at least that much. So the third one was probably one of the most difficult things I've done because it took me literally 2.5 days to ink. But
can't charge more for it, can you?
I don't know if he's here right now, but it's like I'm not sure what the release date is on Terminator Metal, but God, thank you, Nick, for allowing me to show it. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I haven't been around that much is I've been working on these friggin' Terminator covers. You know,
We're gonna
and
blame
obviously take a
Baruchi for
long
your
time.
absence on the channel.
What's that?
We're gonna blame Baruchi for your absence on the channel.
No, it's fine. Listen, I'm happy to do it. It's important for me to keep you know, my hand in the business one way or another. And like I said, I love it that whenever they think of anything metal, they think of me. You know, that's the biggest flattery you can get, right?
Hmm?
So the chance to do all 5 covers. I guess they're the A cover. I hope it's the A cover.
Well, it
You
should
know,
be. Now,
but
I have
but
to put this link in the chat for you, Bob, before we forget, because I know I will if I wait any longer. But you're back on socials now too. You're on Facebook again.
that's what I said. Former Facebook exile says, yes, guys, after almost a year of being exiled from Facebook for no particular reason, because they've never gave me a legitimate reason, I created a new email address, and I went in and yeah, I was able to. I can't recover the material. I mean, 20 years is still lost, and the 14,000 fans I had on Facebook are gone. But they're coming back at a rate of about 50 or 60 a day. You know, thank you guys, by the way, all because most of you have already friended me on there. So to get back to my 5,000 is probably going to take about 12 weeks. You know, we keep that up, but it's good to be back. I mean, it takes up a little more of my time now. I kind of got used to not having to spend all that time there. I have 2. That is ridiculous. Alberto, I swear. You know, I look on my phone. I'm pretty sure we're connected.
Yeah.
But
Alberto's probably using
I'll double check that.
a
I'll
different
double check
account or
that.
something.
But all you guys who haven't connected with me, please do. You know, because one of the things I got to tell you, it's the driver that drives people to my website that gets me commissions, because, you know, I still love to work, right? And I still want to do commissions. Since I've been kicked off of Facebook, other than the OAX commissions I did for you guys before January,
Right.
I've gotten 2 commissions in all that time, because Facebook's the driver that drives people to BobLayton.com and order stuff. So they see me post there. That's been the big place where I get my commission request from. So it's yeah. See, I told you, Al. Come on, man. I mean, come on. You're one of my ardent supporters. Why wouldn't I not friend you? You know.
That is true.
Pretty much right now, I'm friending anybody. I'm just trying to get your numbers up, you know. So I'm literally, I mean, I don't care. Adolf Hitler, sure, we're friends.
Old school chums from your high school days.
You know?
Yep, I get it. But yeah, well, Alberto is all. You know, Alberto. He looks like such a nice guy, timid and everything, but he pokes people. I've seen it.
That's fine. No, I can
in a
take
good way.
That's not a problem. The thing is, it's absolutely great to be back on. But like I said, I spread the word, please. Let people know that I'm back on there, because, like I said, as a result of that, it affected my business, you know, tremendously in terms of doing commissions and stuff. Because I always kind of knew that it's the drive, really has been the driver, because the longtime fans have been the ones on Facebook. I mean, Instagram is fine and X, but it's Facebook that's usually been the driver to my website. So, yeah, so it's like I said, two commissions, 2 puny commissions. Almost a half a year is pretty.
Other than OAX, that's all you got. Well, you got to fix that.
That's why I had all time to do all those covers, those sketch covers.
Right, and they're on your calf. People can swing
most of them are. I'm going to put the rest of them up today. So, and they're all available. You know, they're like 500 a pop. You know, and so they'll be there. And
are they shipped to Spencer now? So that when
everything from here gets shipped to Spencer, but Spencer will disseminate them to wherever they have to go. We've had a pretty good system going now for almost 2 years, and you know, I FedEx them to him, and he turns them around within a few days. So it's no big deal. I have a package goes out to him about every 2 weeks. Good. So yeah, I'm open for commissions, guys. Yeah, thank you, Marcus.
Marcus is letting them all know.
But I've always been open. That's the problem, you know. It's like I've always been open. So I'm so excited about the Terminator Metal book. Just a chance to do all 5 covers and work with Alex Sinclair, who I admire tremendously. And it's almost like Christmas when it shows up. I can't wait to open the file just to see what he did, because he's one of those few guys who actually enhances the art. And so I'm very, very excited to see what he does throughout this, especially the third one. The third one is crazy. So we'll see. But thank you, Nick.
I've got a question for you, though, too. He wants to know if they're going to be doing metal covers of Terminator Metal.
I think there'd be a real mistake if they didn't. I got to tell you, I think it would be a real mistake for Nikki not to take advantage of that. And I know that he's been going, Dynamite's been going through distribution hassles. I know that.
Right.
And it's like, for those people who don't understand the business or whatever, when Diamond has gone belly up, apparently they decided to stick it to Nikki, nice guys. So he's been really, so I haven't had a chance to really talk to Nick very much, but he took time out to approve this, because it's like, let's go ahead and do the preview first here. So you're seeing it here for the very first time before it even gets solicited, in the catalogs or whatever. So, yay.
Well, there you go. But I was just going to say, Daniel wanted to know how to commission you. I'd put your website address in there, but Kazra also threw in your email address, bob@boblayton.com for
the pricing and all that kind of stuff's on the website. So if you go to Bob Layton, if you go to boblayton.com, go to boblayton.com/commissions, and there's all the pricing or whatever, and the emails go directly to me. It's that's been my email for forever, so it's like, and hopefully I won't get banned from Facebook again.
Other question, Mark Fong, are you going to be bringing any art to sell when you're in Singapore?
I don't actually have any art to sell, to be honest with you, other than the sketch covers and stuff like that, because most everything I do goes to Spencer.
Well, you can draw a couple Iron Man.
But Mark, you got plenty of time to get a commission done before I go there. I got 3 weeks before I leave, so there's plenty of time for me to do something for you if you want that. I'm not going to draw I never draw at the shows, like I said, because I spend the time at the shows talking to my fans. That's what I want to do. I want to sit there. I want to answer their questions. I want to take pictures with them. Just basically have fun. As you know, Bill, I don't draw at OAX either. Because the thing is, the people, when you start drawing, I watch it all the time. As soon as you start drawing, they all move away from you because they don't want to disturb you. And so,
right. Well, the good thing
there, the opposite of doing a personal appearance, though, right?
Right.
In the truest sense, doing a personal appearance is actually having one-on-one with the people and talking with them and signing their books and telling them, weird stories about my strange career. It's like, so
you could write a tell-all book, Bob. We know that.
Yeah. No, I got to talk to Lovitz about that first, because that's going to keep him busy if I ever do that.
Maybe you should just write it all down, and it can be published. After you're no longer with us. That way you can't get into any trouble. There's no heirs to sue, right? And you tell it like it is, or like it was in the 70s.
Well, I was sweating when I told the hurricane cocaine story about Butch, and the last time I was on, I was kind of worried that the news outlets would pick up on it.
There was no blowback at all.
No, apparently not. People want to know about excessive drug use by the comic book industry. So it's like, wait, what the hell? It made me the man I am today, man. But
well,
someday
we appreciate your candidness here on the channel.
I'll write the book. All I have to do is live longer than everyone, and I'll be fine. Right?
That's true. I get it. That is very true.
Guys, before I go, Terminator Metal, I don't know when the release date is going to be, but get out there and get your copies or whatever, and pressure Nikki into doing some chromium versions. It was so funny because the guys did the posters for the appearance in Singapore, did chromium prints of like my Hall of Iron and stuff like that. And when I was explaining to him, I said, we at Valiant invented chromium, Yeah, There's a chromium version of that original cover that they're going to be selling there. It looks amazing. But, he was young enough that he had no idea about, Valiant. Valiant was before his time. And that Fred Pierce, and Gabe up in Quebecor actually invented chromium covers. It was a Valiant creation.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, you guys were very inventive.
We were very innovative. And Fred was always looking for new ways to make them more interesting, make them more innovative. And the chromium, definitely, I love chromium covers, man. I think they're awesome.
Well, it works well with your style. And speaking of that, where was that? Somebody said something nice earlier. J. Rob said Bob Layton, all-time great inker from the '80s, second only to Terry Austin.
What? I'm still here. Is Terry still around?
Terry's still around. He's not doing any work these days.
Okay, I'm working, so I win by default. Okay, I'm doing covers for Dynamite. It's like I'm story. Oh, this is really fun.
Thank you, J. Rob, for that.
Okay, if anybody can help me, one of my bucket list things, and I wrote the editor. They asked me to do a thing about Butch for DC Comics. Okay, they were doing a tribute to him. And I talked to the editor. I wrote him back and said, hey, listen, on a side note, I have never done a cover for DC Comics in my entire career. I've been cover artist for every single comic book company in the world, but for some reason, I have never done a DC comic cover.
Why do you think
thought of me as a cover artist or whatever? I've written for them, I've inked for them, but I've never just done a cover. And I sent the guy recent covers, and I said, hey, I'd like to do one just before I die. It's a bucket list thing, just to say that I've done a DC cover. But I never heard back from him. Apparently, they ghosted me. So, but anybody knows an editor at DC, I just want to do one cover. But yes, thank you, Mark. Yes, I do a lot more than Terry did. I love Terry, but I think I win just by default because I'm still working.
I'm not going to jump into that debate. I like Terry, but Bob,
we were both sons of Rick Giordano.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah, you got to work right underneath Mr. Giordano.
Me, Klaus, you go down the list. There's so many guys who are former sons of Dickie. Mm-hmm. So it's like, no, I called Jim Lee. I got Jim's number, but Jim doesn't give out assignments. I mean, come on, he's like, he's a figurehead now. I mean, he's kind of like, he's just out there with the banner, the DC banner. He's not going to give me a cover assignment,
Well, we'll have to ask around, Bob. We would I'm just saying, get you to check something off your bucket list.
Look, if I die without doing a DC cover, okay, big deal. I'm just saying that on my list of things that I would in the industry that I haven't done that I would really like to do, that's one of them, because it's always bugged me that they never let me do a cover. When I did what? Thousands of Marvel covers, right? I mean, hundreds of Valiant covers. I mean, I've done covers for God knows what, right? Mm-hmm. But I've never won for DC. So
I know what to say.
I know what to say. Let's get out. Let's do a letter writing campaign.
Answer your emails, damn it! And get some work over there. So why don't we tell us before we end, which character at DC would you like to draw for a cover?
Adam Strange.
Adam Strange.
As a kid, I always loved Adam Strange because it was so goofy. In fact, I pitched an Adam Strange story to DC way back when because I always thought it was my version of Hercules. Because if you look at Adam Strange logically, it's just a ridiculous premise, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a college archaeologist for 38 days or 28 days a month, and then he has to stand in front of the Macy's Day Parade and get beamed to another planet where he fights giant tennis shoes and vacuum cleaners. And then every time he goes to have sex with the girl, the beam wears off and he goes back. All right. And then he disappears every 28 days, which is kind of like a menstrual cycle, which
Well, yeah, that is odd.
yeah, no,
There's
but
a reason I'm a Marvel guy.
What happens the other 28 days when he's on Earth? They never talk about that, right? I mean, I'm sure everybody thought he was. I wanted to do a thing where everybody thought he was nuts. You know, I mean, they're treating him like with kid gloves because they think he's insane, right? And because I have to be in Peru and stand on this mountaintop, you know, in 28 days for the Zeta beam to hit me, I can go fight the giant vacuum cleaner, you know. So I always thought that would have kind of been my Hercules, you know, and then introducing strange alien races who like to use household appliances as weapons, you know.
Yeah. Is that maybe that was the pitch? If you made that pitch to DC, something might happen for you. I don't know, or maybe not, or maybe.
No, I'm just saying that was one of those things in the back of my head that I always wanted to do. You know, was because I always saw that, like I saw Hercules in terms of being a comedy more than anything, right? It just lends itself to that. Although Barry Windsor-Smith and I actually pitched a Challengers of the Unknown miniseries to DC, and they turned us down.
They turned
Before
that down.
We went to Valiant. We went to DC and pitched a 4-issue Challengers thing with me and Barry Windsor-Smith, and they said no.
I didn't think anybody said no to Barry. I thought everything was all.
Guess what? We also tried to do a Superman Solar crossover, and they didn't want to do that either.
Damn.
So it'll all be in the book. It'll all be in the book with all the drug use and everything else. It'll be right in there too. All the projects that never got done.
Well, you and Barry should just go back to DC right now and make them turn you down one more time. Then when they do, we hit all the news outlets and let them know that DC had the balls to turn down 2 legends.
Well, there's also the Spider-Man, the Gilded Cage story, the graphic novel that was written by me, penciled by Paul Smith, and inked by Barry Windsor-Smith. There was 20-something pages actually drawn before Tom DeFalco took over as editor-in-chief and killed the project. That would have
Where's that artwork?
Paul Smith has it, I imagine.
Oh, wow.
I don't think Barry ever got around to inking it because I hadn't scripted it yet. You know, but it was from a plot that the 3 of us came up with. But they said it was so life-changing that Tom said it would change Spider-Man's, entire legacy forever.
And how many Earths, numbers do we have these days? Just
well, that's before this. Like back when there was one
time, Bob.
There was one Marvel universe, okay. Yeah, imagine that team up, man. The 3 of us on that. I mean, it would have been a dream project. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think Paul still has 20 pages of that in pencil form somewhere, if Marvel ever returned it to him. But yeah, there's been a couple of really great projects that would have been fabulous. It never happened.
It's a shame.
Well, look, I worked in Hollywood. I wrote 6 movies. They all got bought, and none of them got made. So it's like, it's just that.
As long as you got paid, that's what matters.
No, that doesn't. It's not the money. I'd give the money back and make the movie.
Right.
But
I get you.
But hey, it's the biz we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Injection's part of it. I think I'm taking it really well. Better than Terry Austin, probably.
But Terry.
I love you, T. Don't worry, man. I love you.
Terry's Terry held on to a lot of his art though. I know he may not be working, but I know he's sitting on some good stuff.
Yeah, I've sold everything I ever had. He sells it. Alberto buys most of it, I think.
He might be your number 1 fan.
Yeah, I know. I love the guy, man. But that's what I'm saying. I never fall in love with my own work, man. It's like I always see immediately when I'm done with it, I see what's wrong with it, and he's like, "Yeah, you want it more than me? Fine, you can have it." Because it's like I'll make more. But I'm working on Terminator metal. You can't really see much of it right here.
There we go.
Well, see, okay, never mind. That's the cover to 4.
You're gonna get into trouble. See?
No, you didn't see enough of it to really.
No, we didn't. It was pretty faded out there. But hey, Mark Fong did throw out there. How's this for a commission? Adam Strange and Alana.
Well, I'm getting a little chubby.
And you can deliver it to him in Singapore if you want.
Bring it on, bro. I'd be happy to do it. It's like just
Yeah, well, contact Bob through his website. He'll get everything set up for you.
I
And
don't. Wait a minute. You still all-time great, man. No disrespect. Disrespect for what?
oh well, because he said Terry Austin was his
Oh
was his
no,
number
no, no,
one.
no. I'm just teasing, Rob. I mean, it's like no, that was just a joke. Terry and I go all the way back to continuity, to the days of working, being background men. So
Mhm.
I mean, no, I love the guy. I'm just having fun with you folks because I'm on here for entertainment purposes. Right?
Exactly. It's a show.
It's a show. I'm putting on a show. We got a
Mhm.
trunk full of costumes. We'll just go behind the barn here and have a show. So I'm glad that you survived your near alcoholic.
I did,
overload in
and we're
Heroes.
gonna be showing a short video after this of some drinking that went on while we were at Heroes. So I know that you don't drink anymore, but
Well,
you'll
35
get to
years
see.
sober, man.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I'm still like this. That's the crazy thing. Imagine me on alcohol.
No, no,
Yeah, exactly.
you're
Exactly.
lit
Count your
without being
blessings.
lit, Bob.
Yeah, count your blessings. But anyway, now thanks for having me back on, Bill. I really appreciate it, guys. I love you all. Thank you. Friend me on Facebook. You got the link.
Yes.
And I will if I'm not on. Well, I watch the show every week anyway. So
Yeah,
as
you're
you
always in
know,
the chat.
I'm on the chat. But if I'm not on before I get to Singapore, we'll see you after San Diego for a very big Where in the World is Bob Layton?
Sounds good, Bob. Thanks for coming on, and we will. If we don't see you before San Diego, we'll see you right after that with a Where in the World is Bob Layton?
And I'm so proud of you for trying Korean food, Bill. I really am.
I loved it. If I could only find it here in Central Florida, I'd be all over it.
As we say in Korea, 감사합니다.
Right back at you.
Later,
right.
brother.
See you, Bob.
Bye, guys.
Oh man. All right. Love having Bob on here. This is yeah, and maybe we got him a commission. Mark Fong, please reach out to Bob through his website and he'll set it all up for you. That's always a good thing. We want to keep Bob working. Seems like Nick Baruchi's doing a good job of that right now, but he can always use more work. So speaking of Heroes, we had a great weekend. I already said that when we got started. I have a short video clip that I can play. Well, it's video. It's mostly a slideshow, but there's a couple video clips in there. But we had a great time. And those of you who were there, Chuck Arnold, Newell, and number one Marvel fan was not there. Sorry, Daniel. Daniel wasn't there. There was a lot of you who weren't there, but those who were there had a good time. And some of you were probably at some of these venues where these photos and video clips happen. So I'll just go ahead and play this, and then we can talk a little bit about Heroes before moving on.
Hey, unit. Hey, G. We have to operate as a unit. Who's counting us down? Count us down. Three, 2, 1. Surrender. Hold on.
G unit.
Who's gonna count us down?
I will.
No.
Oh, she's gonna do it.
Okay, all right. Then. Going up. You gotta get under here. Get your hair back now.
Hey yo.
Let's start this one off at 200. I've got 2, this one 3. I've got 3, this one 4. middle. Who's going 9? I've got 8 in the middle. Anybody gonna go 8 in the middle? I've got 800. Who's gonna go 825? Right, listen up quick, folks. To break 800 going once. Wise sold 800.
Man, I couldn't think of something funny to say at the end of that. Thank you, Kazra, for that photo that went around the world, and everybody got to comment on it. Yeah, Chris won. He won the gosh, which piece was that? It was huge. I remember he had to have somebody put it to pack it up and ship it for him. I don't remember whose that was though now. But Newell, you saw he had his game face on. He was ready for battle. He got a victory. Lonergan, that's right, Jesse Lonergan. And I even got a piece. I got it in the mail today, so I won a piece at the auction as well. So I'll show that off in a minute. But yeah, that was a good time. But lots of good things happened while we were there. Lots of good conversations, good things that we'll be talking about over the next few weeks, I'm sure. I finally opened up the Newell gave both Kazra and I a package, and I have to say, Newell, MODOK does not go through the TSA thing very well, because they actually ended up having to search my bag, and the only thing they were concerned with inside there was the MODOK statue that you gave to Kazra that I had to pack. So there was a delay at TSA because of that. But I did, and I thought it was going to be the lead figurine of Thor, which you gave me. So this will be going on the back shelf one way or another. But thank you for that, Newell. I appreciate it. And yeah, but MODOKs don't travel well. Kazra probably already knew that. That's why he had me leave it in my bag. Magnets as well, from what I hear. But yeah. Anyway, thank you, Stingray. It was awesome. But I'll go ahead and show off a couple other things from I can show this here. Pat L, thank you. This was a JG Jones Thor painted piece, ink wash, that he gave me while I was there, and that was awesome. And I know I got a couple other things, but I can't remember what and where they are. But I will show off the auction piece, because when I bought that, I didn't have a portfolio with me at the auction, and Mr. DiTullio did. So when after I won the art and I waited almost to the end of the thing, paid for it, and then realized we were going to be going out, and I thought, I have no way to take this thing home. So I always wanted a Jeremy Bastion piece, and I'm not going to take it out of the plastic because it's taped in rather well, thanks to Mr. DiTullio. But there you go. It was fun. Octopus holding what is it, like 3 quill pens, and I didn't talk to Jeremy, so I didn't know the backstory on it. But we ran into Alex Johnson, and he told us that it had something to do with Jeremy basically saying, feeling like he's always too slow. So he wishes he were an octopus, or had an octopus in his employ to do his artwork. And so that's a cool thing. And I guess he might make this into a t-shirt too. So that'll be fun. And it's got a skull on it. Just don't tell Maureen. So yeah, tentacles. Marcus, I knew you would spot that right off the get, man. All right, but there you go. Happy to have, I'm one and done on Jeremy's stuff. I love his stuff, but it doesn't come up often enough. Very happy to have that. I do have other packages to open, but I'll do that in a minute. Marcus, you asked about the Saturday night thing. Essentially, we've been working on some new programming, and Maureen did something as subtle as add a column to a table, and that broke a couple pages on the website. So she did it. She was working late at night. Just figured she could add this column to a table and it wouldn't do anything bad or whatever, and it caused a little bit of a problem. So, and the sad thing is, it happened right before the auction. Snort comes up to me, he says, "Calf's down," and I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to trust Chris. So I actually stepped out of the hall, went near the window, but I loaded Calf up on the app. Now, the app had no problems. So for those of you on the app, you didn't even know that there was a problem. We appreciate that. You should download the app on the, for iOS or Android if you haven't already done so, because it's awesome. It's only going to be getting better when V3 comes out. However, it did have a problem on the website, but since I didn't do exactly what Snork did, I didn't notice it, and so I went back to him. I'm like, it's maybe your bad internet connection here, because Calf looks fine. Look, it's on the app. And I showed him, and but yeah, it did have a problem. I caught it at like 3 a.m. before I went to bed, because we were out very late that night. And I texted Maureen figuring she'd get the text message in the morning. She literally texted me right back saying, "What in the hell are you doing texting me at 3 a.m. in the morning?" So she fixed it when she woke up at like 7. But yeah, it was about an 11-hour error that it didn't affect the whole site. It just affected a couple pages, but they were important ones. Yeah, it was an interesting moment, but things happen. At any rate, so that was our heroes. It's our favorite show. I think Shelton has the appropriate tagline on there that says it's America's favorite Comic-Con, because I firmly believe that to be the truth. It is a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and can't wait for the next one a year from now. Yeah, it is going to go into Maureen's performance review. Yeah, one of those things you just don't think to check out. But I do have a couple other packages to open. And one is my last mystery sketch. I've actually been sitting on this for 2 weeks because of not having a show last week. So let's see here. This came in from Mark Hay, and I know I got a sneak peek of the one that was Maureen's, because it was in one of the video clips that Mark gave us. Gosh, I think a month ago. And he ended up not shipping it to me at the time, because he knew I had another piece with him. So the first one, get into this thing, it's a Deadpool. I don't know how Maureen came up with the idea that she wanted a Deadpool, but I think her exact request was Deadpool eating a chimichanga. So that is indeed what she got right there. Look at that. So I don't know that I didn't know that Maureen likes Deadpool, but I guess this will be going into her portfolio, and I it's pretty good, decent. Who is the artist on this one? Tarakdo. I'm not familiar with the name, but I'll have to check it out so I get it right when I post it to Calf. Manspreading, is that what that's called? There you go, Marcus. One last look at that. So thank you, Mark, for that. And then the other thing, I guess the thing that I was waiting on was, I think, is this Moritat? Yeah, it's Moritat. It's my last Thor sketch card. I'm not going to zoom. It's going to be a little blurry there, but if you're familiar with Moritat's work, that should stand out for you. He's riffing on Simonson a little bit there, but he did sign his name very large on the back. Thank you for that, Moritat and Marquet and Tarakdo. So there we go. My mystery sketch purchases are complete. Now, this is kind of appropriate to be opening this. The other, a couple weeks ago, I did kind of throw out there that I wanted to buy a portfolio for the sketch cards, because I'm getting too many of them. And Jeff Wedding sent me a few links, and I went over to Amazon and dug around and ended up finding a not quite the same brand that Jeff had suggested, but one that was very bright and would stand out. So there's no way I'm going to miss this thing. I think I don't forget what the count is that it holds, but it's got, I think it said like 200. So I've got a lot of work to do to get these all put in there. But I now have something to put the sketch cards in that I've been picking up. I think I've got probably about 30 right now. So that was that. And then I got a text from Lance Suarez this morning. He said a package is arriving today for me, and he was right. So I have this to open as well. So I don't know what's inside of here, but Lance Suarez. I mean, he's had various artists imprisoned in his home over the last few years. I know Travis has been there, and I mean Mannix has been there. My goodness, there's been a lot of artists in there, and this is going to make a mess. It's full of popcorn. Oh boy! All right, set this over here. All right, what do we got here? There's a note. Bill, just a few things to say thanks to you and for all your hard work. The best, Lance. Thank you, Lance. Oop, let's see. That was not the art being torn. That was just the paper. Whatever that was there was what is. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, oh man, this is awesome. Well, here, I'll just show it off. There you go. A Travis sketch cover of Cyclops. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? He couldn't wait for San Diego. Right. We're going to see each other at San Diego. That's awesome. Wow. Look at that. One last look. There we go. I like that. And the this was brought to my attention by Lance well, like 3 weeks ago, where he found out that the Barry Windsor Smith art that I have was actually published. He sent me the picture of this. I won't break into it, but it was published in this is one of the things that it was published in. I don't know what Seraphim is. It's probably a fanzine. I don't know if it's dated or not here, but either way, he sent me a picture of this saying it was published in it, and he picked me up a copy of it. So there we go. Now I'll get to see where that Conan riding horseback artwork that I have in my calf is actually published. So Rich Daniels has a copy of that. We're going to be seeing Rich in a few minutes here too, because Rich is he's our guest art selector this evening because Mr. Snork is out. Thank you, everybody. Well, it's good to have friends like Lance. Now, I'm not going to dig around in here. I imagine that's all that there was. But Lance, you're awesome, and I can't wait to see you at San Diego in what, like 3? No, it's 4 weeks away right now. So we got some time. All right, and I'm going to talk about the schedule, but before we hit the schedule, I wanted everybody to know that I do have Frankie Frazetta on with me next Monday. I saw somebody said they went to Frankie's table and asked if he could get Sarah to sign something. Yeah, that's not the same family. Well, it's the same family tree, just a different pair of branches. But Frankie's going to be on. He worked with American Hero Press, and they're putting out, at least to start, 4 different books, kind of themed after. Just different genres that Frank Frazetta worked in. The first one's terror. I know they're doing something like adventure, and then something like I can't remember what the third one was. Like I think I can't remember. And then the last one is sirens. I know that. So Babes will be the 4th book, but the first book was terror, and they published 3 different versions of it: a soft cover, hardcover, and then a limited edition slipcover edition. And I'm going to have Frankie on really for more of a general interview, but during that interview next Monday, we're going to do a giveaway, 3 different giveaways for each of the different versions of the book. So I finally decided I better open it because I've had this box laying around here for about a month, and so I'm not going to crack into any of these. I thought about it, but if you want to see what's in the hardcover or the slipcase version, Richard Friend did a very, very, very good review of it. They had sent a copy to him, and he kind of, I don't think he went through every page, but he did a flip through of the book to show off a lot of the artwork that was in there. So yeah, so I got the soft cover version of the book still in the shrink wrap, the hardcover version of the book, and then the limited edition slipcase with a coin embedded in the slipcase itself. And it is, I think they did 500 of these, so this is 311. So that will be what we'll be giving away during the show next Monday evening, 9 o'clock. There's oh no, that giveaway was the other day, Marcus. I'm sorry, you're a little late for that one. Hashtag Sharon. But yeah, we'll be doing that on Monday. And you know, I promise not to ask Frankie about all the current litigation that's all been settled that Mr. Michael Finn has been updating us all quite regularly on Facebook about. But yeah, all good. So here, let me go ahead and show the schedule. I actually should have taken the first couple things off there because they were from Tuesday, but Collector's Cash was released on Tuesday afternoon, 3 o'clock. So that was another. It was kind of like anime for noobs, and then that was pretty good. I got to see that one actually yesterday finally, and Todd Sheffer, of course, I did on Tuesday. But a late edition is this next comic art show that I will be doing on Saturday evening with the team. It's kind of a little bit of a benefit. It's one of the team members is having a couple challenges and needs a little help, and the team decided that they would donate some artwork for a sale, and so that's what we'll be doing on that evening. So I can't say, I haven't gotten any real previews of the images of what will be there, but I imagine that'll be at least 20, maybe 30 pieces of art. And yeah, Kim Jacinto's family is having a few challenges, and the revenue that was generated from that will go to Kim and his family to help out with that. So we've got, what have we got here? We got Ron Shepard on next Tuesday. IC3 will have its 4th episode drop that same day. I'll tell you what, Thursday is going to be a lot of fun. It is the 248th episode of the CAF update, but the whole majority of that show is going to be dedicated to the Heritage recap. So that's going to be fun. We'll have Dan Poddick, Dino, Mike Berkey, Nick Baruchi, and Albert Moy will be joining us. And who knows, maybe we'll even throw in somebody else. But it's going to be a gaggle of a lot of players, and I'm sure bidders in that auction. So it should be interesting to have all those gentlemen on the screen together, talking about what should be an interesting auction. Of course, the platinum event for comic art is tomorrow, and I'm sure a lot of us are going to be watching that thing when it starts up. What else we got on here that's new? Rob Hughes on the 8th. Tatiana's going to be doing an art sale special thing with me on the 14th in the evening. That'll be a 9 p.m. show. Then we also have the Card Art Explained has its 3rd episode on the 8th. All Access Art with Tatiana again on the 15th. We've got what else I got on there? And I think the TD Art Gallery is still wrong because that was supposed to. Well, anyway, Hillary Barta on the 19th. I'll tell you, Hillary's been sending me some artwork. He's got some good stuff. He's inked a lot of good titles. There's even an interesting cover that he sent me an image of, asking me if he thought it would sell, or if it would fit well on the show. And I think and I'm going to actually be having a call with him tomorrow to go over some of the stuff that he's shown me, because he's got a lot of good stuff. And yeah, it's I think it's going to make people happy when they see what he drops. Kevin Nolan did get moved. He was supposed to be this weekend at 2, but he's got a lot of other things going on right now, so we moved him into August. That'll be on August 23rd at 2 p.m. He'll have some of those last days of Lex Luthor pages, because he and Brian Hitch are splitting the book up, and they can finally start selling that. So I know we'll have some pages from that, and Kevin always brings good stuff. I'm sure we'll have a few commission style pieces done, and having just similar things like that, and then just other things on the schedule. Another show with Tatiana, another show with Koi Fam. So lots of busy stuff coming up here. Show us Hillary's emails. I can't. Got to talk to him tomorrow. But yeah, he had he inked a lot. He inked Bill Willingham on Warp. So he sent me some of the stuff of that. I'm like, shoot, that's awesome looking stuff. So fair number of things that even piqued my interest a little bit. So it'll be fun. But yeah, I'm going to talk with him just to get a better idea of what he has, because he's just emailing me stuff and saying, what do you think about this? And yeah, I think we need to I want to kind of rein him in, focus on things that I think will work for a first show with him. Outside of that, we're at, I guess we can build, yeah, I'm part of a conspiracy. I don't even know what conspiracy you're talking about. But what do we got here? Page I Love. We might as well swing on over to that and show that off. Chris Weston did this one with Mr. Kevin Sharp. We miss Kevin Sharp. He's been at Heroes the last couple of years, and then he was not here this year. Didn't ask him why we didn't get to see him, but it is what it is. James Siegel, always good to see James. He was there with the family, only for a day, but that was good getting to run into him. Sorry we didn't get to see at Rob's after party, but we came there a few hours later than that. But Page I Love, Chris Weston, he's talking about a gentleman who was his mentor in before he started working in comics. That was Don Lawrence. Don, of course, did a lot of painted art for UK comics back in the day, and very influential artist on a lot of the British creators, from Gibbons to Brian Bolland. You name it. I think Don Lawrence probably influenced a lot of them. But Chris Weston actually studied under him for a year. And anecdotally, there's something that Chris Weston says in this that I won't spoil, but I'd never heard of anything like that. But it's towards the end, and I just thought it was really interesting. I bet maybe Bob Layton had this kind of relationship with Neil Adams over at Continuity, but I would imagine it was not commonplace. So listen closely, and I'll be with you on the backside of this Page I Love segment with Chris Weston.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to A Page I Love. This is Kevin Sharp. I am joined today by artist Chris Weston. And Chris, welcome to the CAF Plus channel. We are so happy to have you here as a guest.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm honored to be invited.
Well, you've chosen what I think we could safely call a deep cut art pick for this. And do you mind giving the viewers a little bit of background about the Trigon Empire? Because I'm going to guess a lot of people may not be familiar with this book.
Oh, right, yeah. It's well, the Trigon Empire. When I was a kid, this was my favorite ever comic strip. It originally ran not so much in a comic, but in a weekly publication that was full of actual stories, like stories about World War One or the famous British explorers. But amongst all these actual stories, there was also every week a 2-page comic strip called The Trigon Empire, which ran from 1965 to 1975. Oh, the name of the weekly publication was called The Look and Learn. But to be honest, the people that bought Look and Learn were buying it for the Trigon Empire, and it was basically this science fiction strip written by Mike Butterworth and drawn by Don Lawrence. And the basic concept was, Romans in space. So the Trigon Empire was like sort of this alternative Roman Empire. They'd all go around in togas and armor and fought with swords, but they also had spaceships and ray guns. It was amazing. It was such a great idea. He painted these 2 pages every week in full painted color, which was quite rare for British comics back in those days. Most British comics were black and white, but because the Look and Learn had a slightly higher budget, they were able to print full color, fully painted color pages. And Don's artwork on it was simply mind-blowing.
Please tell us about how you came to choose this particular image out of what you've just described as years worth of amazing painted artwork. How did you land on this cover to talk about today?
Don Lawrence, the artist, he discovered that almost by chance that this story that he was drawing, the Trigon Empire, was being reprinted right across Europe, and that prompted him to ask for a pay rise, and he was immediately fired. The people who were reprinting in Europe commissioned him to paint all new covers for these books, and so it's just that this particular cover that you're probably showing now, this is from my particular favorite story. The Trigon Empire was broken up into shorter stories, and then these shorter stories would be collected in a book. So you get a complete story in one book, and this story was called The Red Death, and it's where the Trigon Empire was invaded by this rival planet who were thinly disguised versions of communists. Their leader looked like Stalin, and they were all dressed in red, and they'd fire these pellets at the Trigon Empire and when the pellets landed, these massive, great red weeds would grow out of them and strangle people. And it was basically a sort of a biological weapon. I don't know about for some reason I just love the painting on this cover. The colors, the blues and the reds, just really work for me. Anyway, I could stare at it for hours. I mean, even looking at the sky, it looks like an oil painting to me. He didn't actually use oils; it was painted in gouache. But I'd happily go in any art gallery and see this on a wall, next to a Caravaggio or something.
Well, I have to hit you with the question for every guest is, do you own any original art from the artist from Don Lawrence?
Yeah, but even more than that, he eventually became my mentor, and this is how I got into comics. I found out that he lived near me, mainly from talking to this boy at my school, and I said, I said, we're talking about comics. I said, I really love comics. And he said, oh, my dad's a comic book artist. I said, oh, really? And he's like, yeah. And I said, what's his name? He said, Don Lawrence. And I was like, what? Your dad is Don Lawrence? You're joking. And I've got to meet him. And he was just very generous with his time. He'd let me come up occasionally and watch him work, and he knew I wanted to be a comic strip artist. Eventually, by the time I was finishing college, I was getting ready to do a foundation year at Brighton University to study art, and he said, "Well, if you still want to be a comic strip artist, I don't think there's a lot of point you going to university. You do better to study with me for a year." And I was like, well, yes, please. So he allowed me to be his apprentice for a year in return for 10% of everything I earned during my first year as a professional. But even that is a bargain, an absolute bargain.
Well, congratulations, Chris, because some past guests have definitely owned original art by the artist that we're talking about. But you are the first one to say you actually studied with the artist that we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously through that I do have a couple of his. I think I've got about 5 of his original art pieces. Unfortunately, I don't have that one, but I still love the ones I've got.
Well, why don't we jump over to your work now, and please tell the viewers what you have out now or have coming out, and where they can find more of your art.
Well, I think we've just seen the release of Paranoid Gardens by Dark Horse, which Gerard Way and Sean Simon wrote, and I did the artwork. So I'm hoping that's flying off the shelves as we speak. If you haven't bought one yet, go out and buy it now. But aside from that, I'm involved in a very exciting project with Lord Ridley Scott, the film director. He's decided to wade in the graphic novel world. So he's working on 4 graphic novels under his Scott Free banner, and I'm co-drawing one of them called Hyde. It's a pretty massive project, so the bulk of the work is being done by my old friend and collaborator on the filth, Gary Erskine. But I've been through like the process of designing characters and a little bit of concept art design for it as well.
Chris, I'd like to thank you again for your time, and thanks for the comics education as well. This was a new work to me, and I'm sure for a lot of our viewers, this is probably something that they either haven't heard of or are not super familiar with. So we really appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And it's nice to you bring the work of Don Lawrence to a wider audience, because I really don't think he's that well known in America. I mean, in Europe, he was a hugely famous comic book artist. So much, in fact, that Holland gave him a knighthood for services to the publishing industry. He did get offered a chance to draw X-Men, but he was happy where he was, doing his 2 pages of full colored artwork a week. I think a 22-page book would have been too much for him.
Thank you again, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. And how do you like that, Bob? You heard him, that the first year of his professional career, he had to pay 10% of his earnings to Don Lawrence. That was the cost of his internship, I guess you could say, underneath Don. But yeah, that's the first for me. I've not heard anything like that before, but I don't know. I'm sure there's probably other scenarios where stuff like that has happened. But actually, I have an artist in the green room right now who could maybe even better answer that question. Rich Danny's, because here, let me bring Rich in. We haven't seen him in a long time. Hey, Rich, did you have an internship where you had to pay any part of your first year or anything?
No, nothing like that. No, animation doesn't really work that way. And I mean, I've only got a little bit of comic book experience really in my resume. I mean,
well, welcome back.
I mentioned a little what. Thank you for having me back. It's a great honor to be here. Very excited to fill in for Chris. He's got big shoes to fill.
Yes, you do. And he didn't
Yeah.
give you any pointers. He just threw you out there, and
All he said was he's going to go to a comedy show and I need somebody to film it.
and you did say not too long ago that you wanted to come back on here and
I
do
said
and
I'm game.
that you
Yeah,
would do
sure.
picks.
I
Yeah.
love talking about art, so that's not a big issue. So
Right.
I was pretty
Good.
impressed to see that this guy is going to work with Ridley Scott.
I thought that was pretty cool too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to feel, I mean, I'd feel pretty honored, right? I mean, the idea that
Yeah.
you get to work with somebody like that.
And then he got some kind of award from the Dutch. And I mean,
Don Lawrence. Don Lawrence
Yeah.
got that. Or
Yeah.
what?
both my parents are from Holland, so my brother's over there right now, which is why I'm drinking Heineken and his honor. See,
Do you have tulips planted out in the front yard?
I do, but I mean they're kind of perennial, and I planted them many years ago, and there's only like 3 or 4 left.
Well, you got to go back to Holland, and
You got to do it in the late, like you got to do it early winter too. I still have visions of my dad going out there with a tarp wrapped around his head, and it's kind of bad rain and cold soil, and that's the way they do it. And then it comes up in the spring, right?
I mean, I guess I have to ask you about the stereotypes. You know, Peter wants to know if you wore wooden shoes.
My
And
dad did.
did you paint windmills and that
No,
sort
but
of thing?
my dad used to work in the tulip fields before he emigrated to Canada in the early 50s. They used to call them, I forget what they called them, the copper, like you would take off the heads and that would help save the bulb. Like after they flower, you got to cut off the flowered part, and that would improve the bulb for resale. And then I had another uncle when he immigrated to New Jersey from Holland. I think he was a salesman for tulip bulbs. So there you have my Dutch history.
That we do. So back to you for a few minutes more. I mean, we're going to stick with you on this one. So what are you currently working on? You know, like
I've been unemployed for 2.5 years.
Man, since we talked. I mean, I guess I wasn't a good influence.
I think when we talked, it was about 4 years ago, and that was like I think COVID, and I was still working off and on. And but my last job, I quit. I was working for 9 Story, and I was supposed to be doing layout for them, and it was for what's it? Something Riddle and his Secret Museum. I'm trying to remember the name of the character's name. It's a PBS show. But I said, where are the designs? There's no designs. You know, and I had all these backgrounds to draw, and they didn't give me, like, it's usually you take the character and the background and the layout artist puts it together, but they didn't give me any designs. They would email me JPEGs of stuff that they found on Google image search. I mean, that's not design. That's just, it was horrible. And not only was I doing all the designs myself, but I was also fixing the storyboard a little bit. And
so they weren't paying you enough.
No. I was doing 3 jobs for 1 check, and I told them, I said, I can't keep doing this, so I quit. I've quit a few shows. It's not a new thing, but you know, some jobs are just beautiful. The money's fine, and you know, the production schedule is very easy to commit to. And other stuff, it's horrible. It's like I don't know if the money's not there, or they're just trying to be cheap, or so. And it's just right now the Toronto animation business is in the toilet. All of my friends are unemployed. It's not just me. So,
all right. So it's nothing personal.
No.
All right. Well, that's good.
But I mean, everybody my age, and I especially feel bad for the graduates that have only been working for a couple of years. They're all. I don't know if it's the streamers that are doing it, or you know, at first it was COVID. That was difficult.
You know, my daughter's majoring in animation.
I know. I know. I
hope she's not listening right now. You're crushing her dreams.
Well, I mean, I'm only a couple years from retirement, so I'm content to just sort of wait it out. But I mean, I stopped looking for stuff for a while ago because jobs always found me. You know, I mean, I'd have a friend that said, "Listen, you need another layout guy. You need another design guy." But so I don't know. But for graduates that have only had a couple of years working and are now stuck, you know, I feel bad because their career hasn't even really started yet, and they're out on their ass. So.
You're gonna start making me cry. So let's move on from that topic. But
well, I mean, if you're confident in your abilities and your talent, then you know you shouldn't stand by idly. You know, you're in control of your own destiny. You can create your own IPs. You can create your own YouTube channel and put animation on there.
That's
But
right.
there just has to be a new system because right now it's really bad. Sorry.
Well, back to comic art. You haven't
Yes.
updated your calf in a while. Is this
I
because
got
you
no
haven't been
money. I got
employed?
no money. I'm
You haven't-
really, I mean, money is super tight right now.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough that when I started freelancing in 1995, I had an uncle who was a financial planner, and he said, "Why don't you get an RRSP?" So I started building an RRSP,
Hmm.
but I've had to dip into it now 3 times because there's no money. So
Oh
it's
man,
tough.
you're bringing me
I'm
down.
breaking your heart. I know. I know. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I have no budget for buying anything at all. I did kind of peek in yesterday to see what the Nolan was.
Hmm.
Snyder had the $200 pencil sketch.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, it was okay.
Kevin was at Heroes. I don't, I didn't see a lot of people picking up anything by him, but I'm sure
Well,
he
Chuck
must.
Arnold,
Oh, that's right.
you got the
That's that,
Batman, yeah, and the Batman was amazing because I asked.
Chuck's,
That's the first thing I asked Snorrick
he got
about.
that at the auction.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a really nice
are we
piece.
allowed to say the price, or should we keep it a secret?
Uh, I actually wasn't there to see what the price was. I think
It
I
was a
heard.
good price. You got a good deal. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of us did. I mean, the piece that Jeremy Bastion piece was like $800. I mean, I was going to go up to 1,200, so I feel like that's like the right price for that piece. And
yeah.
but then again, the Scotty Young painting went for $15,000, which
Right, right.
that's yeah.
One of these days, I want to get down to Heroes, but I don't have any money right now. So
Well, we got to get you back to work so you can come down to Heroes.
I
Didn't it look
know.
like fun? Did you see us? We were drinking
Yeah, I
shots
know.
off
I
of
mean,
a
it looks like,
ski.
yeah, it's great fun. I want to go down to OAX too, but actually, last week, out of the blue, Dan the Man phoned me, as Duke Fleed, and he said, "Why don't we go down to OAX together?" I said, "Well, let's wait till Trump's out of office."
You don't want to cross the
I don't want to
border,
cross
right?
the border. Yeah, just
Well, you'll be retired at that point then,
yeah.
unless we oust him
I hope I'm
ourselves.
still
So.
alive at that point. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, so you would consider coming to OAX? That's good.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I love Florida. I've got family that sort of goes down there, like these snowbirds. But
I'm rubbing it. What am I rubbing it in? I want Dan, number one Groove fan down at OAX, and you as well, Rich. I mean, but we get it. It's unfortunate. It is what it is.
yeah, I mean,
But
every
the
time I
show
see a
must
photo,
go on.
every time I see a photo of Benno, I just like to sit down with him for a couple of beers because I have
Right.
fond memories of him from the
He
app.
helped set up that. There was an OA panel at Heroes that was pretty fun. He was on it, and who else was there? Tyler Turner was on it. Jay Giant was on it.
Is
Dewey
Tyler
Cassell.
Tyler Turner?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's our number one indie artist discoverer, right? I mean, he finds like the artists that no one's heard of, and then he gets to him first, and then everybody else kind of follows.
That's the trick. That's the trick.
Exactly. But yeah, but Benno set that up. He was he's Benno's fun. I mean, you've known Benno for a long time, thanks to
Yeah, I've never
Thursday
really
Icon.
met him face to face. I don't think. Even at San Diego, I don't think I met him. But
Mhm.
he was always such a charming guy. The way he writes about art and about what's going on in his life. I've been friends with him on Facebook forever since I left the but,
Yeah, no, there's no one else out there quite like Benno. He is a
I mean, that guy's a lawyer, so I
another guy.
mean, he's got a budget. Got no boundaries, right? I mean,
Right,
I'm
exactly.
just a lowly artist. I don't. I mean, I'm lucky to have my own house. Most of the people I know, they're all renters and stuff like that. So.
Well, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go there. But we hope to have you down to OAX when you're feeling comfortable about traveling to the States.
Yeah,
It is a good show, and
it
there's
will happen eventually.
yeah, and we're always expanding stuff. I mean, I think there's a lot about that show that would interest you, and I
Yeah.
think it's only going to get more um, uh, expansive, and bringing in different types of art and things like that, trying to focus on stuff. So, but last year was a lot of fun, just having a lot of the illustration artists there.
Right.
I hadn't seen, I've seen Julie Bell like at that IX show in PA for a long time, but she brought artwork to our show that I had never seen before.
Right.
So it's really cool just seeing how the show's evolving, and I think it just has a broad appeal, and I think that our path on year 3 is just going to keep kind of pushing that too. So, yeah. But we need to have maybe. Well, I'm not even going to go there anyway. So why don't we'll get the calf update thing rolling here. You know how it goes. We're gonna look at some heritage picks, and then we'll play the
Right.
the Nick Baruchi video because he's got his show tomorrow, and then we'll do our picks. We got plenty of good
enough.
stuff to talk about. So let's see here. Let me pull up the man. You're gonna make me want to drink a beer.
Sorry, I got a second one on my table. That's for me.
Well, see, you're smart.
I'm gonna have to go for a pee break when we get the Baruchi.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's why they're there. I pace my show with video clips just in case. So Jaime Hernandez, a great indie artist. This is from Mr. X. You know, I don't know anything about Mr. X, but you know, when I saw the thumbnail, you know, it's just you know a good piece of art when you see it. I just love the way he's
any
leading you from.
Torontonian that grew up on going down to the Snail or the Dragon Lady on Queen Street West knows about this period because they were all put together by Vortex Comics. The publisher was Bill Marks, and this was that period right before they really began Love and Rockets, I think, or
yeah, this was 1984.
Right.
And you're right, it is Vortex. Yeah, but this page is just so well constructed the way these, you know, especially these 3 bottom panels. I love the top one for the lighting, but just that angled piece going in, you know, crossing into all 3 panels. I mean, it's so well designed. I mean,
right.
when I think about his Love and Rockets work, it's more about the characters and just, you know, fun stuff, which we get in the last panel. But I just love the way he handled the lighting on here and just pulling the whole thing together. And
that was a great book.
I didn't read it, but it's already at $750 on day 1. So I guess it is a popular book. I know the Mr. X stuff from the things I've looked at on market data. It has its fan base, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Then next up, I kind of like skip these all the time, these Epting, Tom Palmer Avengers pages, because they always have a couple of them in, you know, every auction, every weekly auction. But you know, they're all good. They're just not, you know, great. And then, you know, I saw this one and I'm like, that's a great one. I finally found one that really I thought had a lot of action. I mean, that second panel with just all the, you know, the heroes in there is really well done.
Characters.
Yeah, I mean, it's right, and you know, it's all action on this thing too. So nothing against you know, the Epting Palmer Avengers pages, but I thought this one was definitely worth a look from everybody.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, especially if you lose out on some of the auctions going on this weekend. Here's something that you can afford. And then what did I pick? I picked an Alex Toth because I knew you were going to be joining me here. So, although this is not the standard Alex Toth,
no, it's quite unusual. I don't think I've ever seen work like that from him.
Right. I mean, it's nudes, it's women, it's whatever. But hey, yeah, we're used to just seeing those little, you know, ink doodles and stuff by him. And I thought, well,
I wonder what kind of wash that is. Watercolor?
I was wondering the same thing, and the description was one of the shortest descriptions on Heritage I think I've ever seen. Look at that; it barely makes it to a third line with the word condition. But yeah, so it didn't say anything. They don't know what it's from, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I thought it was cool.
I saw a lot of Alex Toth online this week. I think it was his birthday or maybe a memory, sort of a memorial of his passing, or I can't remember. I think it was his birthday. A lot of people are posting about Alex Toth this week.
All right, well then, I don't know any Toth myself. Do you? Because I know you're a fan. No.
You know, I'm a fan, but not a fan of the stuff that people think of. I'm really a fan of the standard romance books that he did.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you're a real Toth hardcore, you think that's almost too flowery and too detailed. They really like the stripped down stuff. Like,
sure.
I know Paul Ravoche is really into the stripped down mean stuff, and but the standard, he almost set the house style for those romance books by standard.
That is true. Yeah, you know, Paul set up at Comic Art Live the last in May. I think he sold he sold a few Mr. X pieces, I think, and yeah, I got to reach out to him. I have to get him on for an interview. It might be fun. He had an interesting career.
He's a nice guy, but He leans a little to the right, if you're comfortable with that.
I can handle anything. I try to stay right down the middle, so I don't get into trouble with anybody.
It's the best place to be. I mean,
Yes.
I don't want to get into competitions with him, so I'm friends with him on Facebook, but he's muted on Facebook.
Ah,
That's
got it.
kind of-
Well, maybe I'll check his profile before I invite him
Yeah,
on
you
the
might.
channel.
That might be a good idea. Yeah.
All right. Well, next up, this one's just for the Ross Andrew fans out there. There's no Spidey on this Spider-Man page from issue 140, but you get Jonah on it, and it's a little bit of flashback stuff. But again, it's Ross Andrew, Frank Giacoya, maybe Dave Hunt. I guess both were listed as inkers on the page, but the Andrew stuff typically is kind of pricey, especially with stuff if Spidey's on the page. But he's not in this one. You get Jonah blowing smoke in I'm not sure who that is in his face, but
I like Jay Jonah's hair in the first panel there. It's like when you step on a cat's tail, if you look at the top of the hair there, it's like
yeah, that is a good one. And look, you get a wrestling scene in there. This is for all the wrestling fans out there.
Right,
If you're, or maybe if you're into MMA, you never know. I mean, here it is. Here's a page for you.
Robbie's in there too.
Right. Oh, you're right. I didn't even notice Robbie. So there, a good page, and it should be an affordable one. And then this one, I kind of picked this one for myself, but also for the Frank Brunner fans who really enjoyed his Man-Thing work. Just a sketch. He's fighting an alligator. I mean, down here in Florida, we're always fighting alligators, and I kind of like this one. But Man-Thing did fight a few alligators in those books of his, so this is very appropriate.
Looks good. Yeah,
I've always liked Frank's stuff. And as much as I like his inked work, I've owned a few. I don't own any now, but the only pieces I've ever owned by Frank were pencil pieces.
they have more energy. They always do.
Yep.
Because once you start inking, you've got to make creative choices about which line do you choose over the next one, and sometimes you can really kill it.
Yeah, without question. I mean, I'm gonna probably throw a bit. This would look great on my wall. Wrestling.
2018.
Is that what? Yeah. That's
Wow.
right. 2018.
Okay.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm gonna set that one aside and go back to it. Then I had to pick. I got to go DC every now and again. So this was from what was it from? JLA 200, Infantino and Frank Giacoya. I kind of, something about the Flash. I don't know. It has nothing to do with Nick Baruchi liking him, but it's just I like the way that Infantino has drawn the Flash. I know I've picked a few pages of Infantino Flash in the past, but every time I see it, I like it. I mean, it's just, it's just got the Infantino energy to it that you're kind of used to, like it or not. I've always had an appeal with it, and so here's a page from I guess an important issue 200. I don't know. I didn't read it.
That third panel almost looks like that Joy Division cover that with the lines.
Yeah. I think I've got that T-shirt in the closet over there. I haven't worn in a while. No, that's cool. So
sort of delineating fast action like that is always difficult. It's that bottom panel, the way he's got those sweeping lines, knowing when to put it into the figure and when to sort of bury it. Like the arm is kind of protruding, but you really have to kind of think all that stuff through.
Yeah. Well, Infantino, he's been around for a while. What year was this? This is 82. So, Unknown Pleasure. That's right. That's the name of the album.
That's the one, right? Yeah.
See, God Loves Comics. I met God Loves Comics at Heroes. Was it Rob? I can't. Now I'm like beginning to doubt myself.
Robe Young, or is it? I love his Facebook page. It's amazing.
Let's see. Marcus says he lets the inker think it through. Well, that's possible. So next piece, Bill Ray. I always like Bill Ray's stuff. This is a cracked back cover. Yeah, painted back.
He used to do quite a bit of stuff for Cracked, I think.
Yeah. This is from 87. Well, it's dated 86 on the painting. I guess it was published in 87.
Yeah.
But I think there's actually another Bill Ray piece in this auction too. It might have been better this one, but it wasn't painted. I thought, I'll go with this one.
He's an interesting character. I used to kind of get into a back and forth with him on the old Shane Glines board, because I was friends with Dave Stevens at the time, and Dave Stevens and Bill Stout didn't have a lot of time for Bill Ray. Like, they didn't like him too much. Apparently, what he did once is he faked his own death. I know it's crazy. It's a crazy story. He wrote some kind of suicide letter and kind of tried to convince people that he committed suicide. And then he came back and said, "It's just a joke. I'm still here." And Bill Stout in particular really
didn't appreciate that.
Didn't want to talk to him for years. I think he made up with Dave, because I mean, him and Dave grew up together. Dave actually used to date Bill Ray's sister.
I did not know that.
Way back when, yeah. So, but I've been trying to get this page on CAF. He's got pages for sale, and he's got a Bill Drott page that I've been asking to buy from him for like 7 years. He always tells me, "I don't know where it is right now. If I find it, I'll let you know." Fucking guy, man.
Yeah, well, I know he obviously being an artist for a while, but he has collected for a long time.
He's got an amazing collection, actually. Yeah.
I've always
he's actually got great taste. And
yeah. Well, I've always wanted to do an interview with him, but
he'd be an interesting guy.
No, all right. I just won't ask him any questions about.
From what somebody told me, he went to anger management classes, and he's a completely different guy now.
And then maybe he'll be open to talking with us.
Yeah, there you go.
Then I thought you'd like this Warren Kremer. This is it's an unused, unpublished cover prelim from like 1952 for Black Cat magazine.
Amazing!
Is this awesome?
Unbelievable! Yeah, I love it.
I had a feeling you would. I mean, I thought this.
That's a real Bill Drott face on that guy, kind of like. Yeah, but yeah, he's really nailed down all of the. He's really sort of spotted the inks and all the textures that he wants to put in there.
Exactly. I mean, this is a basement you don't want to go to. Apparently, but,
yeah.
They got the insurance policy on the crate, and they're paying somebody. But yeah, I love this. I think this is fantastic. It probably won't even sell for a lot, but it's awesome. Yeah. And then this next one was cool. This is a Russ Heath Starman page, and I just thought the pacing on it was just cool. I thought and just all the action on it's just fun. Going out the window, getting shot, rooftop battles. They're in some kind of I don't even know what that is, casino or something, and then they're down in the sewer. So I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
But panel to panel, I just thought this was an awesome page, and it's
he can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned.
No, I mean I want to get a Russ Heath war page. They keep coming up, but I haven't found the right one yet. But
Alan Bernard keeps beating you probably to them.
More than likely, right? And they're affordable though.
He's got some amazing Russ Heath pages.
They always just fall a little bit out of my comfort zone. I always put a good bid on them, and then I never win them. But
that's another guy who had a long animation career too.
Oh really?
Him and Bruce Timm used to work at the same studio that Dave did. Dave Stevens.
That's right.
Yeah, they used to make jokes about Russ because he would sleep at his table with his pencil in his hand on the paper, and he would take a nap.
Well, he looked like he was working.
Yeah.
Don't tell Kazra, but I do that every once in a while too. But my fingers are on the keyboard.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, but anyways, I just like this. I really like the rooftop panel. I mean, there's just something cool about it. I like the the maybe the ornate roof stuff and the decorations there, and it's just a cool page.
He didn't really cheat or skimp on the designs there.
No, not at all. And Russ was tired after partying at the mansion. Well, he was fortunate enough to be able to do that, I guess.
Yeah.
The last one, this one, I think you might have read that because I was like, what the heck is this? So I even read the description, and Heritage said they weren't even sure if it was published, but it's Dan Day, something called the Leopard. It certainly looks like Sabretooth's costume, but and then this is all Zipatone on it, but whether it's published or not, I love Dan Day's work, and so I just thought this was a cool piece. So again, it probably won't sell for much since they couldn't verify if it was a published piece or not. But I liked it.
I think Dan lives about an hour east of me in Belleville, Ontario.
Really?
Yeah, there's a local guy here in Oshawa that runs conventions called David Wildstar, and I think he was going to do a convention in Belleville, and Dan Day was the guest.
Well,
And
shoot, I would love to. There's another guy I would love to interview. I'm a huge fan of his work. You got to get me his contact.
I forget who it was, but I saw on Facebook. I recognized the name from Calf, and he said, "Shit, if I could only get out there." But because I mean, I'm sure the prices would be good.
Right. I'm making a
Didn't they
note.
have, like, were
Dan
the
Day
three
for
brothers?
sure.
It was David and Gene and Dan. Was it David Day? Was that an artist?
It was David. Yeah.
And Gene
You're
Day
right.
was the first one to pass away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I can, I'll try to hunt him down and see if we can't get him on on an interview show. Yeah, he would be a lot of fun to talk with. I mean, he worked for a lot of different publishers over his time, and a lot of offbeat stuff that I always appreciated. Yeah. Anyways, this is a cool piece, and it should go for a low price if you're looking for a Dan Dace piece. Don, Steve, and Rich are brothers. Or Dan, Steve, and Rich are brothers. Okay. All right. Well, there's my heritage picks. I can get rid of that window, and what we can do next is move over to the wonderful EXP show that Nick Baruchi's got tomorrow. Yeah, see, there you go. And you can grab another beer while you're up.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Here we go. We're going to dive into the EXP tomorrow, 7:00. You know it. You love it. It's on YouTube and Facebook, and heck, I think it's even on X these days, and probably on Instagram. I've been trying to stream to Instagram the last 3 shows, and every time it fails. So I'm having no luck there. I'm going to have to see if StreamYard's having problems. But anyways, let's take a look at what Nick has for sale tomorrow, and we'll be back right after that.
Everybody, this Friday, June 27th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, on the Original Art Experience, we are going to have such a great variety of original art. Wait till you check it out. Now, wherever you see this promo, hit that thumbs up, share, sharing is caring, support all the channels helping to promote us, and then if you get a chance, go to our YouTube page or Facebook page, and share the show as well. If you wouldn't mind, it'll be greatly appreciated. Let's get into this dynamic show. All right, Bob Hall and Don Heck. Oh my God, this Avengers 301 page. You've got Thor, Mr. Fantastic, Captain America, so much more. I love the Don Heck influence, so beautiful. And we're gonna do double the Geist. We've got this gorgeous Doctor Strange cover with the Purple Man. That is really, really, really fun. Did I say double the Geist? I meant double the Doctor Strange. Sorry. Then we have Rudy Nembres, Doctor Strange. God, this is beautiful. Part of me hopes it doesn't sell, but if it does, well, as long as it goes to a happy home, that's all that matters. Then Marvel Team Up by Alan Cooperberg. When I say this is a different variety, this is definitely a big different variety. Then we have Wonder Woman by Gene Colan, and look at that Green Lantern villain. Oh my God, that's awesome. And there's a Superman movie coming, so how can we not have some Guy Gardner? You've got Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, Lobo, and so much more. Oh yes, Sinestro. Then we have Fantastic Four and beautiful Brett Booth, inked by Tom McQueenie. Then we have this gorgeous Blue Beetle preliminary by Paris Cullins, and you have the original Blue Beetle plus Ted Kord, so Dan Garrett, I think, and Ted Kord. Then I have another Blue Beetle. Why am I doing 2 Blue Beetles at once? Well, I will tell you why. Because I didn't even remember that I had this Teen Titans page with Blue Beetle. I only thought I had the 3 before, but I had another one. Then we have Daniel Acuna, Uncanny Avengers 10. Check it out. This is a double-page spread. It is amazing. Man, this is beautiful. And it's my only Daniel Acuna, at least as far as I know. Now, will these Mark Bagleys finally make it on the air? This is like Matt Damon showing up with the Jimmy Kimmel show and Jimmy Kimmel running out of time. Early Mark Bagley work, oversized. They are fantastic. Only on the experience. Oh, more art. Bloodstrike by Carl Allstatter. Holy, going back to the 90s. Simon Bianchi, Original Sin Thor. Man, the Thor and Loki crossover. This might be my only Simone Bianchi page. Then we have Midnight Suns by Jerry Bingham. Just one of the best artists in the industry who does not get enough love. Fantastic Four by the late, great Paul Ryan. Check it out. World's Finest 277 with Zatanna by Dan Spiegel. Then we have two Mannix covers. And then we have Sue Lee. And then we have Ernie Colin, Casper the Friendly Ghost cover with the color guide.
You mean Sally?
Sowie. Thank God Amy's here. Thank God. Sowie. And it's my last Sowie cover. I'm an idiot. I'm going fast because there's going to be more. So this Friday, June 27th, going to have maybe a little bit more art than normal because we're not doing a show July 4th, although Kyle is trying to convince me to do art at night on July 3rd because I'm going to be appearing on the weekly Comic Art Live show with Bill and with Dan Poddick and Mike Berkey and Dino Mauricio. And he's like, why don't you do a show after that? We could do art after dark at like 1 a.m. Eastern. I'm like, it's July 4th weekend. I'd like to take a little time off. And then he says, yeah, but you don't take any time off. So, I don't know. I'm torn. You guys let me know whether you want me to do a July 3rd on the West, beyond the East Coast. It'll be July 3rd. Then the East Coast, it'll be July 4th. Art after dark. But probably not. And we have more art that I'm not showing. So, June 27th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And help us grow the experience. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Hit the bell for notification. Hit the bell for notifications. See, I rush all the time. And I will see you Friday.
And we will see you Friday too, Nick. So thank you, Peter Rowe, for getting us correct on the Day Brothers names. Clearly, Marcus was talking about another set of brothers who are.
Is that oldest to youngest, or is that how that works?
No.
Yeah.
Team David.
I have no idea either. I think they grew up in Ottawa or Kingston. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but I'm gonna try to find their contact or Dan's contact info, and if I can't get it, I'm gonna. You said he lives a mile from you.
I'll help you out. I can. I mean, I don't know David Wildstar that well, but I did buy a bunch of comics. I remember he cleared out a bunch of comics, and he doesn't live too far from me, so I bought a few from him.
All right.
I bought my comic rack, my spinner rack from him.
A vintage one?
Yeah.
Oh, gone it.
Yeah.
Still trying to get one from Anthony. He won't sell them. I just want one.
I kind of updated mine. I put like cardboard sleeves into the pockets so that the comics don't bend and stuff like that.
That's wise.
I've got it in my studio.
There you go. Even Bob knew Gene. He said loved hanging with him in the early days of Marvel.
Yeah, I used to do the was it Fist of Kung Fu or was it
yeah, Master of Kung Fu.
Master of Kung Fu, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, those were awesome. I mean, that's the stuff when I think of his work, I think of that first. I mean, it's so well done.
Right.
You know, I mean, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the stories, but I love the art.
And then I think I think David and Dan, didn't they do like a Sherlock Holmes series or something like that?
It sounds familiar. I mean, they worked on gosh, I'm trying to think what other thing that I've seen them on. I mean, again,
they used to appear a lot of Toronto shows. Like when I was working on Dragon Lady, I used to actually I'd color the big poster, and I can remember David and Dan Day were often in the bottom, like they were kind of lesser artists, regarded as lesser, because they were always trying to get the big names. But
yeah, Marcus says there's lots of examples on CAF. I'm sure of that.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get on with this CAF update. We'll go through the sales really quick, just to remind everybody of that, and then we'll dive into the picks. So this is from last week, the 16th through the 22nd, $307,000 in sales from comic art dealers. I think we might have more sales this upcoming week because the past couple days, I know that from Felix that he's reported 2 complete issue sales, totaling, I think, between the two of them about $150,000 from those 2 books alone. So yeah, so but for us, this period, 307,000 is the amount that the dealers we track sold, and we can take a look at the top 6 sales from that. First up is a Barry Windsor Smith. It's an unused cover from Marvel Comics Presents 76. This one was sold by Albert Moy for the asking price of $55,000.
Looks amazing.
It is. And what's next? This one Berkey sold. Asking price was $38,000 on this X-Men 61 page with Sauron on it, which is pretty cool. Neil Adams and Tom Palmer for that one. And then another X-Men page, Jack Kirby Chick Stone. This is from issue 8, sold by Berkey as well for $28,000. There you go. Number 6 on my list still, everybody. Joe Staten. This is from Adventure Comics 461. Title page splash from that book, 1978. Berkey sold this one too for $11,000. And then we have a page sold by Glenn. This one is a painted piece by Alex Ross, sold for $10,000. And the last one, again, another one sold by Berkey. This was asking price was $10,000 on this Fred Ray Superman. This was a recreation of Superman 9, I believe.
What would the year be on that, do you think?
Did it say?
Did Fred Ray do a bunch of like recreations like when he was quite a bit older, or?
He doesn't have an exact date. Berkey wrote in 1970s in his estimation of when it was done. I mean, I've seen a few. Actually, I think I've seen that one at his home. But so there you go. So Berkey did have the top sales that week. He had 116,000 in sales, compared to Albert, a paltry $80,000 in sales. I don't know how these dealers get by, putting food on the table, making money like that. I am in the wrong business. Anthony even had $76,000 in sales. My gosh. I don't know. He won it in the smalls. 82 sales to get to 76. See, Albert only needed 14 sales to get his 80,000.
Yeah.
So it's all about the material. All right, over to our auction results. $279,000 between Heritage, Weekly, and eBay. And what do we have up first? Something I didn't even know was out there, but that's because I was at Heroes. What do we got? We have a Dave Cockrum Uncanny X-Men 154 page. Went for $7,350. You got a nice Storm on there. You got Cyclops and his dad flying around in the jet, and the mansion is destroyed in the last panel. Then we have a Terry and the Pirates Sunday by Kniff. This one went for $5,650. When was that? That is from 1946. And last, and I didn't check to see if this one was, so the other two were auctions. This one might have been a buy it now, but it may not have been. You never know. This is a Hellboy by Mike Mignola, done in 1999, went for $3,500. Then over at Heritage, he had a Jack Kirby Mort Meskin Captain 3D #1 cover. This one went for $17,400. And I thought I blurred that. I did blur it. Just so I guess I didn't blur it enough. Doggone it. That one was Armando Huerta, Sluts, Julie Strain, and Betty Page. That one went for over $10,000. I should have used those bars that my daughter uses. And then Joe Mad and Al Milgram did two. There was 2 pages, Astonishing X-Men 3 and 4, went for $8,400. The YouTube censors may come out for that one. Oops. All right. So that's it. So we can dive into our picks now. We get to talk art for the next little bit here.
Not bad. 11 o'clock.
You get to go first. So you did fine. I mean, you found some artists that we don't.
Yeah, I even had some alternates in case you were going to bump me from some of them. So
no, whenever I have a new guest on, you get to go and keep everything you got. And there was one piece that we had overlap on, but other than that, yours
there's probably a couple that we overlapped on. But
there was some good stuff. And I mean, the thing is, you know how it goes. You go through there. There's so much great art, and you have to kind of like pick and choose what pieces you're going to.
It's difficult.
Choose it is, because it's like you look at it and it's like, wow, that Paul Smith cover was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
In Steve Lawrence's collection, but nah, I'm not going to pick that one. Because guess what? It got seen by a lot of people already.
This new Raphael Grandpa book is really one of the few floppy books that I'm still buying, and of course, They come out like once a year. What is issue 3 out yet? I don't think it is yet, but it's a
I don't
4 issue
believe.
series. But I mean, I love it, and I mean, I love this image too. When I actually went to go check the web link for it, I noticed that it was already posted in another person's gallery, so I think they sold it one collector to another.
That does happen. So whose
But I mean,
collection is
I love the textures on here.
Layton?
I mean, some of it, I don't know what he was doing there. The back of that looks almost like a dry brush kind of, like he inked it with a Q-tip or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does kind of have that textured look like that.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. No, I like Grandpa's work a lot, and it's not cheap. The
No, I
published
know.
stuff.
I know. I mean, I gave up early on about ever getting one because, but I mean, I was an early on fan, but I mean, it was never affordable from the get go.
Right.
The
No.
problem with social media is that, you know, it used to be you and I go to conventions and we see a new artist that we really like. And before he does the convention circuit and becomes a huge star, you can get him, but because you're one-on-one with the artist. But nowadays with social media, everybody trying to get to the top quick. Everybody knows about it from the instant, from the get-go.
Yeah, well, there's I mean, there's certain advantages to that. Even if you get somebody who's maybe not repped or whatever, I don't know. We can go down that rabbit hole and talk.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But it is what it is. But Grandpa's work stood out early on. I mean, for many reasons, and it was like he was high profile so quickly that I think it just, you know, the prices were what they were. People were paying it, and that's a testament to good work like that. Because
I don't fault him. I think he's worth every penny he gets. But
right, and he was with Chiaroscuro, I think. I don't know if he still is, but I remember when some of that Batman art dropped, and I wouldn't say Chiaroscuro goes like and does you know, they're not as outgoing as like Felix might be or other reps are, but the art just when they announced it was going to drop, I think that you probably had about 150 200 collectors that were ready to get it paid.
yeah, disappears quick. Yeah.
But no, great pick. Somebody we don't get to talk about too often on the channel. Then what do we got here? This was a Corbin piece, which there's never enough Corbin art in the world. This is
I mean, I was a heavy metal kid, so every time I see Corbin, it just takes me back. And I mean, I love that face on the very bottom there.
Yeah.
I mean, the decay of it. I mean, you can feel the dryness of that skin. You know what I mean? Like, and the wolf character almost reminds me of the Ralph story that he did for heavy metal. You know, that,
yep, I'm familiar with it. Oh yeah. No, that this is awesome. I mean, and yeah, I mean,
great textures, great chiaroscuro, especially that first panel. I mean, the black.
Right. I keep going back to that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Corbin, I wish Corbin did more work. You know what I mean? I wish there was more of his stuff out there, because there, I don't know. There just
I don't know what it was.
Never comes up on the market.
Yeah, I don't know if he just didn't get asked to do work or if he just wasn't interested in it. I mean, because he did a fair amount of stuff for Hellboy, didn't he?
Fair, but not a lot. I mean,
okay.
he could have done a lot more, I think.
I don't actually have this book, but
okay. I mean, because the Hellboy pages, I think, are what I've seen come up more frequently than anything else in the last couple of years. And even then, I think maybe only 4 or 5 pages that I've seen.
Right.
No, he can't do any more, Marcus. I know that. I understand that. I'm lamenting the fact that he didn't do more. That's what I said. I thought I said anyway. Man, you're going to drive me to go get a beer out of the fridge in a minute, Marcus. But whose collection was this in? I didn't even check. This was in Abraham Martinez. We've had a few of his pieces on here before. It's great though. I mean, wonderful storytelling, so clean, and a Corbin piece, when you see it, I mean, there's nothing.
Yeah,
it's very distinct.
Unmistakable.
All right, now see, you know what? You'll laugh. This was the piece we crossed over on. Was the Sam Glanzman combat page. I just thought it was awesome. I mean,
I don't know a lot about Sam Glanzman, but I used to collect a lot of those old war comics, and every time I get to a get together with Alan Bernard, he pulls out pages that are just. And as an artist myself, I'm always envious of stuff that I can't do, and the spontaneity of these inks, to get the waves like that,
Mhm.
I would be plotting out every little black section, and I just don't have that panache where you can just lay in the clouds like that. You can see like it's just a dry brush going back and forth across the moon. And
Yeah, this is beautiful, and I think there was a second page from this book posted too, and it was just
he
as
had a
good.
couple
And
pages, yeah,
it might have even had more textures on it. I remember like there was a close up of the plane sitting
yeah.
in the water, and it was just amazing seeing the kind of more tighter ink lines on the plane, and then the loose brushwork he was doing in the water, and it just worked together so well.
And that's another reason I picked it was I'm a bit of a World War II airplane buff, and this is the PBY Catalina, which was a search and rescue ship during, especially in the Pacific during World War II. They used to sort of fly down and pick up people that had been dumped in the water from sunken boats, and Kaluda's a huge fan of that airplane because he's drawn it numerous times. I've seen him draw it a few times.
See, there you go. Marcus says it was all, or he's got a complete story. What was the page? There was another. I can't remember what the other page was that I saw. Anyway,
it's the type of page I don't know if you could do right now, because I mean it's all about one serviceman who's looking for his brother who basically is in the water somewhere. He's hoping
right, and they find him,
and
and
they find out they're Japanese people that they're picking up. They're Japanese soldiers. So, I mean, that last panel, Japs. Like, can you do that stuff like that now? I don't know if you could do that.
probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, where was that? It was. So I can't see it in the thumbnails, but either way, it was a really good image. But yeah, I don't see it now.
But yeah, all the pages were very nice.
No, this was the one. I just thought that it was well done when they come down and he was napping.
Yeah.
He's holding on to some debris and he's napping in the water. And yeah, this one here, just the ink work that's done on the plane with the water beside it, and this panel here, I
even
think
the last panel with the black lifting off with the water coming off, because I think later on they actually used to use those for firefighting as well. They re-engineered them so it could scoop up the water and then drop it.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Marcus says, I'm in Florida. I can still do I can still say those sorts of things down here and not get in any trouble. That's probably true. All right. Well, that was a good pick. Definitely. Peter Rowe picking up lots of stuff. And this has to be a good piece because Marcus commented on it, right? This is in Chris S.'s calf gallery.
This was intriguing because I mean, when I was going to classical animation program in Sheridan College, that was right around 83, 84, 85. And Fire and Ice was an obsession of me and my friends. And when we did a group film in our second year, we wanted to do something similar with the Barbarians. And of course, Conan the Barbarian to come out, John Milius' film. And the concept of the film that we had was great because it was a pit fight. And then we didn't have to draw the long horizons with a lot of stuff in it. But I had no idea that Peter Chung worked on Fire and Ice because I only know him as Aeon Flux guy.
Right.
So I went to IMDb and I looked it up, and he's uncredited. He's listed as a layout artist / animator. And this is at the end when the pterodactyls fly into the ice cave against. Have you ever seen the film? Against Lord?
I have. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this was kind of. I mean, you can see the scale and the force perspective of the characters is kind of wacky, but this is just a conceptual piece of what they had in mind. And if you pan it a piece at a time, it almost works. It's like you have to think of it as a pan where you're only seeing part of it at a time.
Right.
And if you slowly roll across it, it kind of works.
So Chris S. I wonder if there's any other. How much of Peter's work
It's got to be a lot of cells, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of roughs, a lot of layout stuff.
He's on IG quite a bit talking about his work on Aeon Flux and stuff like that. It's kind of fascinating.
Cool. Let's see here. Next up. Now this one is for sale. We usually don't pick for sale stuff, but I
was going to ask about that.
I didn't call you out on it because, come on, it's cool. I was with you. This is a Bill
first
Stout
of all,
thing.
you see this, you don't think Bill Stout. I mean,
no, not at all. I was a little surprised that it was Stout when
it's crazy.
I want to hear why you picked it.
1981, and apparently it's for the Bo Derek movie with Miles O'Keefe, where it's a Tarzan and the Ape Man, or Tarzan the Ape Man, or I can't remember what it's called. But I don't know if he was part of the art department, or I mean, they never used this, but the colors are totally Frazetta, and that sort of hand, you know, coming out on the flat like that, and that's a total Frazetta move there. There's a lot of Frazetta type things in here. That Panther doesn't quite work for me, but
nah, Frazetta would have done that one a little
something
different.
wrong with the neck on that cat.
Well, this is 1981 Stout.
1981,
so
yeah.
very early.
Great colors though.
Yeah, but not something we're used to seeing from Stout. And you're right, you wouldn't think Stout when you see it.
The color palette's totally Frazetta too.
Mm-hmm.
Purples and greens. And...
Cool. Well, I had not seen this one until you picked it.
I was going to ask you about that if we do the for sale ones. I was also looking at a couple of heritage auction ones. Are you not allowed to pick those either?
No, we try to stay, because just think about it. People would be saying, "Well, show my stuff next time."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Yeah, but it's okay. I wasn't good. It's your first time.
Yeah.
You'll know for the second time.
I'm a novice.
Exactly. Then this one, McManus piece in RM's CAF gallery. What is this? They just celebrated their 9th anniversary on CAF. Now this was freaky.
Yeah.
Dark Horse, Cheval Noir.
Cheval Noir was actually a kind of a decent comic book. It's almost like a comic book version of Heavy Metal, but
never heard of it.
You can see the painting is actually labeled 1992.
All right.
So maybe it was published in 93. But I was trying to figure out how he did this. Like, it looks like gouache with pencil crayon and maybe some oil pastel on there. I don't know what that is exactly. But the glow effect works amazing. And there's something going on with that guy's knee too. I remember the knee looked kind of funky.
It's kind of it is kind of frightening.
Like a swamp thing leg there.
Yeah. Well, I love McManus's work. He's cranking out good stuff, but I haven't seen too many painted pieces by Sean before.
Exactly. It's a kind of an unusual McManus piece.
Well, this was what it was like watching TV in the 90s, I guess. Man.
At the top of the TVs, if you look at the top of the page, you can actually see the pencil strokes. I'm guessing that's pencil crayon, but it could be oil pastel.
Right. Cool.
Yeah. Interesting.
Now, next up, we have a art by Tom Fowler, and this was in Nick Forst.
Nick Forst actually had a couple. He had another one that I didn't pick because I kind of like the staging on this one better. He had a Ghostbusters one that was, I feel like the characters kind of got lost in the background, but the first attraction to me was those hands. I mean, it's right out of those are almost like Johnny Comet type hands. Hey, Nick. And of course, Tom Fowler is another Canuck, so I got to sort of toot his horn. He lives, I think he lives in Kingston, Ontario. It could be Ottawa, Ontario. But, he doesn't do quite as many conventions as he used to. I remember early on when I published my sketchbook, I was tabled next to him. I got to see him work. He would just do sketches right there, and he had a little coffee cup, and he would make these ink washes and just go right to town on it.
Sure.
I mean, this guy doesn't look like Michael Keaton, but
but that's okay.
That's not the point, really.
No, it's the gag.
Yeah, and I like the shadows on the tile, the way he kind of left the white lines on the tile.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, Nick, congrats. I do think the other piece that you're thinking of was pretty good. I think I would have picked that if you hadn't picked this one.
The Ghostbusters one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My issue with that Ghostbusters one was that I felt like there should be a holding line, like a heavier line on the characters, because sometimes you don't read the characters off the background, and it can be saved if it's colored right. But yeah, but Tom's a really sweet guy. I remember at the time he was doing a comic book for DC or DC Vertigo, and I think I bought that. And it was quite good, but he just didn't. I think he does a lot of role-playing games now and stuff like that, doesn't he?
Oh, that's cool. I could see his style working well.
Yeah, he's
something
great.
like
He's a
that.
great draftsman. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we have a Graham Ingalls.
This
Vault.
was when I saw that old witch there. That was like the quintessential old witch, and I've drawn the old witch a couple times. It's like the funnest character you can draw. It's so organic. You know, you can't really make bad choices on lines. But whenever I used to do the hair, I used to map out the hairlines, and then I would draw in ink the spaces between the hair so that the white would kind of be the relief. But you can see obviously here he's done it in white wash or something, some sort of white out with a brush. And I just didn't have, it gets back to the sort of improvisational inking that I struggle with. So. But that picture was also used by Russ Cochran. I mean, he mentions it in the description, but Russ Cochran used to use that as a part of the standee. You remember they had the large format reprints that were like magazine size?
Yeah.
They were published on cardstock. And there was a standee that had the old witch saying, buy these or something.
Oh, it would have been cool if he had an image of it. But I feel like I've seen an image.
I used to have that standee, but I don't know where it is anymore. I think I threw it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, Russ.
But I mean, the whole page is amazing. I mean, look at those things on the window there.
Well, the lettering. I love the lettering from this period. In the EC books. I mean, come on, that's
Leroy lettering. You ever seen those machines that do that?
No, I have not.
You can actually, if you look on eBay, you can actually find them. A Leroy lettering. It's a whole kit, and you can do like the standard letters, and you can also do the italicized and the bold. It's a whole. I think Ed Piskor once did a sort of a thing on his channel, the kayfabe channel. He showed you how to do
Leroy lettering. I'm writing it down. I'm gonna look into it. That's interesting. Leroy, even God loves
Leroy.
All right. Oh, I spelled it wrong. I had it L-A. Okay, L-E.
Leroy. It's like Leroy.
Like Leroy.
Maybe all right. Leroy lettering.
Interesting. Well, anyways, great pick, and this was in Chris Kalacki's calf gallery. His one of the best collections on calf. I mean, it's like, look at that. He's won 3 best of awards, 21, 23, and 24. How did he didn't win one in 2022? I mean, he must have bought a bunch of sneakers that year. Slacking. All right. What do we got here? Next up, Scott Eater.
This is going to be totally unprofessional of me, but I think a pee break from it. But I mean, that is a classic. I'll be right back.
Man, yes.
I know.
I think Bart Sears did this to me once. You're the second guy to stand me up talking about art. So look at that big baby. And Scott Eater, man. I'm sure Scott doesn't post most of his collection on calf, but he's got to have one hell of a collection. I'd like to get the tour if I was ever around his place. But come on, it's a Burns piece. So what's not to love here? I even used this in the email when I put that together today, because it was just so that right there. But I want to we're gonna tell Rich that he's not allowed to drink beer when we do this show anymore.
I'm coming.
I like the pacifier at the top. Okay.
Didn't Chris do that to you one time? I think he did.
I think he did. It happens. What's that? Oh, look at that. You even wrote that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you remember that. Did you ever see Comic Book Confidential?
No.
You've never seen it?
I have not.
You have to go to Yahoo and watch it. It's a comic book documentary. Frank Miller's in it. A bunch of people are in it.
Okay.
Charles Burns is in it. And they feature this story. It was a Toronto documentarian called Ron Mann, who was the director. I used to see him occasionally on Queen Street. But this was a classic story. And I think Kitchen Sink published this book, didn't they?
I don't know. I mean, it would make sense that he did. I know he worked.
But it's funny because they actually sort of make an almost like an animatic. So it feels like an animated film. And Charles Burns is doing the narration. And there's that shot of Big Baby. He's up in the tree looking down at Mr. Finster. And Mr. Finster doesn't want to talk to him, so it's your name's not Mr. Finster, it's Mr. Stinkster.
All right, I'm interested now. I've written it down. Comic
That's
book
another one you got to watch.
confidential. Yeah,
It runs the gamut. It's got like Zippy the Pinhead, and it goes way back to like Jack Kirby is in it, if you can imagine.
No, this is like not ringing any bells, and I tried to watch every
And they
documentary out there.
they actually had an accompanying comic book as well. Comic
All
book
right, you're
confidential.
killing me. All right, after the show is over, I'm gonna dig around and try to find
All
out
right.
more about it. But yeah, this is great, and I mean, it's in the right collection. I mean, come on, Scott Eater.
Scott Eater's got all the good
He
stuff.
lives and breathes this stuff,
Yeah.
and wow.
Yeah, that's a classic cover.
Gosh, I mean, Burns' style is just so damn. I don't know. Just it's so raw. Yeah, but very very cool. I'm glad you picked.
Look at the eyeballs on that creature. They're not even like they're just a kind of a glow. They're not really.
Yeah, I didn't see this piece either when I was doing my picks. I don't know how.
Oh my god.
I know, and I'm usually looking at stuff that gets commented a lot. And I didn't see this one. Peter Rosa's even Crumb was in the film too. All right, I'm looking it up.
Okay.
As soon as the show's over, let me get my like on that one. Curse of the Mole Man. All right. Now, oh yeah, this is Tyler Turner.
Tyler actually had a couple of the pages from this, and this is the one I chose because, come on, I mean, look at those. That girl that's there in the middle panel, that is a Charles Burns girl. You know what I mean? Look at the eyeball.
Oh yeah.
And then that face on the second panel. Have you ever read Basil Wolverton's Space Hawk?
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks exactly like that type of style. I mean, that just, and of course,
Matt Allison's, he's just, it just ties. I'm sure that, he grew up and loved all that stuff too. Because it just comes out of his art like that. And
kind
it's
of the Ed Big Daddy Roth tribute in the first panel.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I used to collect the stickers and stuff, back in the,
the model kits,
right, like the mid 70s. Well, even like there was a chewing gum, with the trading cards and stuff that would come in packs.
I remember those.
Yeah. I think I even got some of those still laying around somewhere. But that's awesome. But Matt Allison's just freaking incredible talent, and I mean he's been to OAX a few times.
He was at HeroesCon, right?
He was at Heroes. Yeah, I don't think Tyler had. I think Tyler had already bought these, so they weren't in the portfolio. And I didn't get. I finally got to swing by Athenaeum's, and I'm probably butchering that, their booth on the last day, and got to see some Kankor artwork that was there that they were just showing, not selling, and some other pages from this book. But yeah, Matt's stuff is always. I love it, and Tyler T. I think probably has more of Matt's art on cap than anybody else. He's been buying stuff from him for a while.
He's Matt sells stuff through that IG page, Athenium.
Athenium. I say it Athenaeum, but you're right. It's probably Athenium.
Right.
Sean Wallace is the guy that owns it. But yeah, look at that. That last panel's awesome. Yeah. All of that is just great.
You got the eyeball take at the very last panel.
Yeah. I love it. Good one for Tyler. Tyler's just adding to his cool status on CAF. I think that was your last one.
That was my last one. Yeah, I think.
All right. Well, that was a good set of 10.
Thank you,
Rich. So let's see here. I'll go through mine now. So I used this one in the show graphic.
Oh,
just,
right.
It's a very striking image by Somni, and I just he's I don't know.
Brilliant. Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at. It's like I don't even look at the character. I'm looking at the forest behind him, and this, it's just so well done. Chris, just his compositions are always top notch. I love his ink work. I mean, this is just phenomenal. I mean, I don't know. Thanks to Marcus, I do have a piece by Chris, a small like head sketch of Thor, but I'd love to get something bigger by him because I just think they're just so impressive. And
it's kind of hilarious that he did the pattern on the you know, the his suit there. The lines go straight across, even in the
Yeah, but what doesn't matter, right? It's just like
I know. It
and
takes
but
you actually a while
I
to
didn't
even
even
see
see
it.
that at first,
Yeah.
and now it's like I can't unsee it, but it still don't matter because guess what? I looked at the trees first.
Right.
But yeah, I think this thing is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. But this is yeah, well, let me get my where is that? Big write up from Eric. I already liked it. There you go. I liked it probably when I grabbed the image. Anyway, Eric's been on CAF for 20 years and has very good taste. He's probably got more Adams art than anybody else on CAF. And let's see, where was I going to next? You know, John Amore has been putting out a lot of great stuff of late, and I just had to like, I left this. This is probably like my 10th pick because there were other stuff that was I thought was cool. There was actually a couple of really nice Silver Surfer pages that were out there, but I ended up coming back to this. This one's in Mikhail's CAF gallery. I just love the. You know, I love Galactus in this piece. I mean, you notice the Surfer like right away, but then Galactus is, you know, hanging out in the back.
Oh
And
shit! I didn't even see that. Yeah.
I know, I know. Well, at first you don't. You know, you kind of
Yeah.
think maybe that light is like a
Oh,
dying
right.
ember
Yeah.
of something, and then you realize, oh hell, there's Galactus there. I know, same thing, and it's so obvious after you see him. But John's just, you know, he's been doing some really cool stuff related, you know, like movie related work, and I just think that as he's experimenting and kind of getting out of like his comfort zone, his compositions and his approach to his art is just you know, just exponentially getting better and better the more he pushes himself. So I thought this was great, and I'm sure Mikhail, who's a big Galactus / Silver Surfer fan, probably, you know,
This is the first I've
almost
seen it. I'm
fainted.
not familiar with them at all.
Yeah, well, he uses a lot of Zipatone. I think like if we zoom in on it, you'll
Oh,
see
okay.
that, you
Right.
know, that parts of it do, you know, have Zipatone, and then other parts are just him doing his own cross hatching and stuff.
Spare eyeballs.
Right, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. So congrats to Mikhail for getting that one. Oh, I got to get back over here to get off of it. But no, it's very, very, very nice. A lot of cool stuff John's been posting to his Facebook page
This
of
was
late.
in my alternate list.
Yeah, you know, this DeTulio sold this one on a show about a month ago, but seeing it pop up in Brian's CAF gallery again, you know, it just reminded me how great it was. I mean, when I saw it, you know, when I'm helping him sell it, I in the back of mind, I'm thinking that maybe I might pick this one up if it doesn't sell, and then Brian picked it up. But it's just the composition is so awesome, and uh and Assad gets he gets so much out of a muted palette, you know. I mean, it's so impressive. I mean, sometimes they're a little more flat, but this one there's just enough going on color
Yeah,
wise
it's
that
got
it makes this.
dimensionality to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought this one was one of the best pieces in the sale. So yeah, congrats to Brian on that one. Everyone needs an Assad piece. Yes, I know. I completely agree. I do not have anything by Assad in my collection. Like on there. Next up, I picked this one. Yeah, you could pick an Alex Ross every week, but I like the fact that, you know, the tones on this one are kind of subdued, but they're just, it's complementary colors, right? Your orange and blue, and I just, and even though they're like muted, he's muted them just enough and popped the oranges a little bit. I mean, just to make that, you know, that to make him stand out so well. You know, I mean, I just thought this, and the composition's cool too, but I really picked it for the complementary colors and the structure of the page. But well done, I
I'm
thought.
not an Alex Ross guy, but I have to concede that that's a pretty good Rocketeer.
Yeah, definitely. And no, I don't pick a lot of Alex Ross. I think, I mean, because, you know,
I mean,
it is what
you
it is.
feel the burnish on that helmet is like the shine on that helmet is quite good.
Yeah, I agree. So that one's already got my, like, who's CAF Gallery? Oh, Byron Ham's CAF Gallery. Congrats, Byron. Then I had to pick a Cyclops page because I know Marcus would love it. John Cassaday,
Oh,
Astonishing
wow.
X-Men 14. Yeah, you know, it's just I I've been wanting to get a Cassaday back in my collection. I would have been if I would have seen this for sale, I would have bought it. It's
That's a great
so
page. Yeah.
it is a great page. It's got everything that I like in Cassaday's work. I mean, just a lot of facial expressions. I don't need the X-Men fighting at all in it. And yeah, I thought this was awesome. Really, really, really nice page. And I forget
Now, did
who.
Marcus put a like on this? I'm assuming.
Oh, this is Nick Forst again. Man, I got Nick's getting yeah. Well, Nick is a Cyclops fan, so
Oh, okay.
so there's no surprise there. But I didn't hear what your question was, Rich.
I said, did Marcus put a comment on here? Because I know he loves Cyclops as well.
Oh, he probably did. Oh yeah, right there in the right to get things
Oh, there you
started.
go.
Wonderful. All right. Well, congrats, Nick. Another good one. And this one I thought was kind of cool. This is in Gene Park's calf gallery, and Gene was he wrote in his comment or in his description that he was going through his calf and he realized that he had pieces in his collection from artists that he has not added a piece of that artist into his calf, and he's been going through his collection trying to find pieces that are good representative pieces that he has, and so apparently he's had this Jim Aparo piece for a long time. So I thought that was, a lot of people don't have time to post a calf that much, but I thought it was cool that at least he's trying to find stuff to give his gallery more of a complete feel for what he likes. And I just thought this page, I've been, I think I've been talking about apparel for a while. Like, I got to get myself a Batman page. I love that. I love how this third panel is inset with the first two. It just works with the storytelling. I mean, when I saw the thing, it made me read it, and I don't read a lot of the artworks that on CAF, because I like looking at the art, and it's more about the art than the story. But I was like, I got to read this. What on earth is going on? And especially because of the way it ends, with them both leaping off the building and him trying to catch him. But I don't know. I love Aparo's Batman work.
Aparo was kind of the Batman guy when I was growing up, But when I went to college, Sheridan College, my best buddy Kevin Clessy was he's the guy that introduced me to Neil Adams, and he brought in a couple of Neil's Batman books, and they kind of blew me away.
Yeah,
I could see why he was so obsessed with Neil Adams, but I know that when I was going to pick up comic books off the rack, that Aparo was the guy that was everywhere.
Right.
He was kind of the man.
Well, Marcus says there's a lot of apparel got posted for sale. Yeah. All right, I'll have to do some digging. I don't
think I have that much in my collection. I think I have a few Phantom Stranger issues that Aparo did.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, I like his stuff, and clearly Gene Park does as well. All right, I pick a lot of stuff. Well, I can't say I pick a lot of stuff. Paul P gets a lot of attention because of his he's always buying something cool, something Spidey, and I just thought this was kind of cool. This was a Ed McGuinness. What was it from? Amazing Spider-Man 61 cover. I just the composition is awesome. I mean, I love having Doctor Doom just Godzilla sized, grabbing buildings. I mean, this is the stuff that you can only do this kind of crazy stuff in comics and make it doesn't need to be believable, right? It is what it is. And the more again I'm looking at it, I think it's cooler now than when I first looked at it. I love that oversized stuff, where the villain, can be holding the heroes in his hand. I mean, that stuff is just fun. And,
yeah.
And this is awesome. So to me, McGuinness is just he put a lot of detail in these buildings too, but I think he's just having fun with the storytelling here.
Yeah, it's a great Spidey pose, and this is what I mean about the black holding line. You see how it's got a heavier line that kind of makes it pop.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, that's kind of lost. That kind of skill is kind of lost on a lot of artists these days, but I don't quite understand. I mean, I don't know anything about the story, but why is he up in Doctor Strange's cloak and everything? Okay.
I don't know. There's something, right? I mean, now I'm curious. Yeah. But Stingray says that he owns the best page from the book. Okay, cool. Yeah. If it's in your calf, I'll check it out after the show. Did I put my like on there? But Paul P, like number one Marvel fan, so he's got a problem. It's a good problem. Next up, this one I picked. I know we picked something out of this gallery before. Who was it? Shannon Weathers. I'm sorry. Not too long ago, and it was like an animal. I can't even remember what the last one was, but I saw this piece. I kept coming back to it. I like it. I
Is
mean,
it a mouse guard thing or is it something else?
No, I don't even
Okay.
know. It says Cheddar and Clementine by James Hance. I have no idea
Huh.
what that is, but obviously Shannon picks a lot of dog, canine related stuff, but I don't know. I like this piece. It has a painterly feel, which clearly there's some paint being slewn here. There looks like a little bit of pencil work in it too. All in all, I mean, I just thought it was a great illustration. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at it now.
It's a
It's like
happy mouse.
it is. I don't. That's a happy rabbit too.
Yeah.
Looks like something almost right out of Star Wars. I don't know, but anyway,
Almost done.
I love it. I love it. Now, three more from me. I had to go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this was in Justin Porter's Calf Gallery, but just a classic page and the lighting and everything. I felt like, we do talk about Miller's stuff a lot, but this one just I didn't want to overlook it because I just thought the lighting on it was so cool. Him lighting a cigarette with the car lighter, and
I remember this scene from the movie, but I didn't really buy these books.
I've actually only read them online. I've never owned a copy of the books,
Right.
but yeah, it is a classic scene from the books and the film. But yeah, that first panel, that's the thing that does it for me. I just think that's great.
Because I mean, you really got to figure it all out before you really do that kind of white to black. Yeah, I mean, you have to know where the chin is and the jawline and everything else. I mean, to kind of hold it off. So it's like you're drawing stuff you're never going to ink, really. It's kind of like a more complicated version of the way Chris Samney works. You know what I mean?
That's true, and you're welcome, Justin. I thought this was a great piece. It really is. Rich blacks in this thing. So yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, those aren't Mignola blacks.
Oh God, no. I think Mike is always running out of ink or something when he's filling in his blacks, but we like it for that reason. Though.
I do. I didn't have a problem with it, but I know that some collectors just they they go mental just looking at it.
No, I mean, well, yeah, I understand that, but I like that. That's the appeal of Mignola's work.
Mignola signature.
Yep. All right, what do we got? Oh, this is in Daryl's Calf Gallery. We always think of Daryl and we think of Batman. I'm not familiar with what is it, Michael Melky?
I don't know who that is either. It's a Michelle. Yeah.
But I like the. I mean, I love the layout on this thing. I love the way like the tree. I mean, the way he's handled just the overall composition of the piece. I don't know what it was for. I didn't even look to see. It's a commission style piece. Yeah. I just think it's fantastic. I'm gonna have to look up.
I don't know shit about Trad Moore, but it's got a bit of a Trad Moore.
It does, yeah. You're right. It has a little bit of trad in it. Maybe a little bit of near Levy, I guess, in a way. I mean, since they're all kind of they have the same kind of technique with their line work. But yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. I mean, see, but now I'm gonna have to click on the link
waiting
and
for
see.
Somebody to go say bricks.
Right, exactly. Yeah, well, oh gosh, Michael Melky. See, I have a piece by him. I didn't realize it was. It was. I met him at Heroes, and gosh, this is was that 2 years ago? No, was it last year? Gosh, it was last year. Yeah, he introduced himself to me at a get together and handed me that piece of art, and I totally forgot that. Oh man, I'm embarrassed now. If you're out there, I apologize. Yeah, wow, that's terrible. But either way, I think that's just fantastic. His work is very solid, and yeah, there we go. Now I can go crawl in a beer after the show. So last, but certainly not least, Mike Manley. I don't think Mike Manley's not somebody whose name we've probably talk about too often, but there's a fair amount of.
I know him from animation. He did a lot of stuff with Bruce Timm. I mean,
exactly, and so that's kind of why I picked this piece. I was thinking, I was thinking of you, and I was thinking of, maybe not Bruce Timm, but just thinking about animation. He
used to show up on the Shane Glines discussion board quite a bit too, way back when. And
okay,
yeah, he's a very talented guy. I tried.
Yeah.
I remember I met him at San Diego one time, and I tried to trade my sketchbook for his sketchbook. He gave me a sour look. Like
He didn't know who you were.
He was there to sell books.
You didn't say I'm Rich Danny's. I mean,
He didn't know me from anything. I just I was just assuming that I could do that all the time, but yeah. But he didn't even run school for a little while too.
I don't know.
Or he,
I don't know a lot about. Well, I mean, I knew he worked in animation, but I don't know a whole lot
yeah.
about him outside of that. But I like, but his
He's also
style
involved
definitely.
in that Draw magazine quite a bit somehow, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like this piece a lot. And who's Calf Gallery? Did I say it already? I don't think I did. Is it S-Riz? Yeah, S-Riz. No. Oh, and there's even a published version of it. Let's see. How was it done? I like the black and white
Yeah,
better than the color.
Black and white too.
Yeah. But good get there, S-Riz. It is a beautiful piece by Mike Manley. We may not say Mike's name again for another year. So there we go.
A bit of a Paul Galassi feel to it.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely in the way. Yeah, no, I agree. Another artist whose work I really love, and there's not enough of it on CAF.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, we made it to the end.
Yay! I didn't think I would make it, but
yeah, you did. Well, you didn't actually. I mean, you did have to take a break or two, Rich. But yeah, that's all right. It happens. I
have medical reasons why I have to pee all the time, so it's like I won't go into it. Yeah.
No, you already brought us down earlier with your unemployment story.
I know.
You're not going to bring us down as we go out for the night.
When you get to age 65, you can get Canada Pension Plan, which I paid into, but I'm 62 now. I'm going to be 63 in December. If I take it now, I get paid less, right? It's a percentage less the earlier and earlier take it.
That's how it works down here, too.
If you take it beyond 65, you actually increase the amount of money you can get. But
yeah, I think you have to go at 62, 65, and is it 67 or 69? I can't remember, but the idea of waiting, it gets I don't know.
Yeah.
But Nick Forrest is thanking us for we both picked a piece of Nick's this time.
Yeah, your collection is amazing, Nick. Well done.
Yeah, does not happen often where we get two picks from the same collector, but it happened tonight.
And like I say, that Ghostbusters thing, that was a toss-up, but I just preferred to be able to choose one. Well, but for all you people listening, go back to his page, and then you can take a look
right.
for yourselves.
Do a search for Ghostbusters on the app is what I would recommend, and download it. But Rich, you're always welcome back. Thanks for doing this and stepping in for Chris.
Chris needs to bail. You can give me a call. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. See, now I'm looking at your shirt, and I'm just seeing a dot pattern in straight rows.
Yeah,
that's all I
see
now.
Little palm
Chris Samney, just
flamingos. Yeah.
A mango. Awesome.
The Florida thing, I thought it'd be a good thing.
It is. See, your OAX is calling.
Yeah, there you go. When I get a pile of money, I'll be down there.
All right. Well, thank you for doing this, Rich. I appreciate it, as does everybody in the chat. So have a wonderful evening. We appreciate it. And I'll just say, everybody, we'll sign off together. I'm off tomorrow, but remember, Saturday evening I'll have Jiggy and his crew for that little bit of a fundraiser for one of the team. And if you can tune into that one, we'd appreciate it. And if you can't, well, we'll be back at it, I think, next Monday. And I don't remember what that show is, but there's guaranteed to be one. So if you can tune in, we appreciate it. So thanks again, Rich. Thanks again, everybody in the chat. We'll see you again soon. Have a good night.